Hello, hello, hello. Oh, a long time no hear my voice. I'm free. Free from Lura jail. I get to play the game now. Um, this patch is kind of scuffed, no? Like I woke up this morning and there was like genuine like 10 Wowhead posts just telling me about what I shouldn't do to bug out my character or brick my bonus rolls and stuff. Oh, I love this game. Add-ons broken. Text-to-speech kind of broken. Oh, I love it. It's my favorite game. Switching off Monk has been the best decision I've ever made. That's such a base take. I too switched off Monk this tier. Not necessarily by choice, by necessity, right? But it was a good thing, because you needed multiple DKs for Lura. Um, and also, I think it was a good thing. So I've basically played Monk, right, for how long? I played Monk for, like, fully Monk, just Monk, since Nurabar Palace. So I think it was a good thing to get some perspective on, like, other specs. Right. So what's the game plan for today? I think look at these changes, right? So I made a video on the changes that, but like let's see how they actually work in practice. I think is the thing I want to look at the most because like our damage shouldn't have changed, right? Like our damage should be about the same, but the actual playstyle of Windwalker should be a bit different. I don't know if it will necessarily translate to keys because in my mind, right, Zenith Stomp should hit like a truck, and if you're able to triple Zenith Stomp, that should be good. Because I don't mind that Fist of Fury is our top damage, but my biggest gripe, my biggest concern, is always with positioning, and I think Windwalkers probably end up losing a lot of damage through the fact that we end up using Fist of Fury, but not hitting every target, right? Because there's a lot of situations where you Fist of Fury, but like ads are a little bit spread out, and Fist of Fury is like this tiny little cone, like this absolutely small cone. And if all your damage is packed into one ability that doesn't actually hit everything, that's a little bit scuffed. Like in the War Within, Spinning Crane Kit contributed a hell of a lot of our damage, right? And that's a lot easier to hit everything because it's a circle ability, right? So my hope is that because Zenith Stomp is a circle ability, it's more reliable. And if a lot more damage is coming from Zenith Stomp in Mythic Plus, it's more reliable to actually hit all your targets, but it's obviously hard to tell. I think first thing first, let's open the vault, get a good piece of loot, and close the stream. Oh, what the fuck is this?
Um, Unironically, this is actually like a really good roll, right? Um, because you want a mythic track weapon, right? For when they eventually allow you to upgrade weapons to higher item level. As you can see, I've been really like spending a lot of time on my monk. Yeah, I've been putting in a lot of effort on this character last week to fill out my vault. But we high roll. That's crit mastery as well. That's really good, actually. The ring is okay because it's crit mastery as well, but I have decent rings. Actually, I don't. I have a hero ring. Not a single mythic plus. You've got to understand, right? My last week was literally just pulling Midnight Falls. There was no time to come on my monk and do anything. There was no mythic plus that I could do. I haven't even spent my crest from last week. I still have 90 mythic Dawn crests ready to throw. So like I've literally not touched this character in a week. Except for we did some splits. Well, I say we did some splits. We did one Chimeras, and then on Tuesday night I did the first 4 bosses in a pug, which went a lot better than you might think it would. I think it's got to be the weapon, because obviously I can't collect 6 of these, and I'm pretty sure you need 6 of these, right, to get the bonus roll? You can buy sparks? Since when can you buy sparks? Is this new? Yeah, this has to be new. There's no way you could buy. There's no way you've been able to buy sparks. I swear the biggest problem with Windwalker is that they're so squishy. Yeah, I think a lot of people have that opinion as well. I mean, if you look at like death logs and stuff for just, you know, the average, like average across the board of like characters that die in the raid and stuff, Windwalker is pretty much number one. I don't know if it's quite number one, I haven't looked at it recently, but it does just end up getting nuked. I think we're just naturally squishy, right? Like I think our actual health is one of the lowest in the game. Not, I don't think it is the lowest, but it's not high end. And the biggest issue with Windwalker is once we're out of defensives, we are just naturally so weak, right? Like, and I've had some perspective on this from playing a DK, and let's not get it twisted, right? DK is absolutely busted. But their just natural survivability is so much better, right? Besides the fact that they have, like, short cooldowns for defensives, right? AMS, 45 seconds. Thumbs up. Wow, that's really cool. Like, once we're out of our 1 minute 30 defensives, it's kind of weak. And Karma's not... Karma's okay, but you kind of also want to use it a little bit offensively. But it's not even that great. It's like a 50% max health shield, but if our health isn't even, like, that much. So yeah, we are definitely one of the squishier ones. I think it wouldn't feel so bad if Vivacious Vivification actually healed us a bit more. But the issue is that they removed the talent in the Shadow Pan. We used to have a talent in the War Within that made it so it was, I want to say 30% increased healing. I could be wrong. It might be like 20. But there was like a talent in this tree that made it so that the healing was even more. The healing from this did get buffed when we came into the midnight from what it was. It was absolutely horrendous, but I don't think it's enough because like if you vivify mid combat, like you can crit sometimes and get a decent heal, but the biggest downside is how much energy it actually uses, right? And if you spend like a bunch of time like actually just having to heal yourself back up, you have no energy to do anything else, and then you probably die anyway. Like I don't think we're that bad in like general like damage, right? Like if you like comparatively like across the board, how's Windwalker's damage? It's pretty mid. It's not like bad. It's not good. But we are relatively squishy. I just think diffuse magic would make the difference. Like, obviously they wanted to prune a lot of defensives and stuff, but I genuinely think losing diffuse magic was probably the biggest hit to our survivability more than like anything else they could have done. Because being able to like rotate 3 defensives plus one of the best like non-immunity magic defensives in the game, it was really good. Like I can think of like countless bosses, like Mythic Plus bosses in the War Within, where diffuse magic just like saved your life basically, and being able to rotate 3 defensives because Windwalker defensives are quite relatively. They're not like long, but they're not short. Does that kind of make sense? Like 1 minute 30 it's okay, but like maybe even if they put Karma in like 45, but then there's that issue of Karma does damage. Can they really make it? I don't know. I'm not getting to that. I also switched to DK this tier, and DK literally feels like cheating. It genuinely does. Like, it does great damage. Its AoE is pretty bad in the raid. Like in Holy DK's AoE is like pretty mid, but its boss damage is absolutely ludicrous. So there were 2 reasons that you brought it to Lura, right? The main one, well, I'd say they're both about equal, but the main one is that you needed grips. Blizzard have this thing at the moment where you have to have grips for end bosses. I don't know what it is. It's probably because they don't have raid buff, so they're like, right, give them something to do. We need to get DKs into this end boss. How are we going to do it? Let's position ads in such an awkward spot. And the only way to get them in is through grips. Because obviously these ads can be knocked with things like Ring of Peace and like Typhoons and stuff like that. But the issue is on the Lura like shoots the ads out in random directions and random distances. And sometimes there are ads that are just absolutely miles away. And it was a no-brainer to bring DK. Some guilds opt to go 3 DKs, as in 1 blood, 2 unholies. We opted to just go 2 unholies and rely on knock-ins for some of them, and that worked alright. But DKs are kind of pretty much mandatory for the end boss, so that's one of the main reasons why we played 2 DK. And then as well as that, if you look at like boss damage on Allura, DKs just tend to be the top as well. Because whilst all the other players like doing boss damage, they're killing the ads as well in P1. DKs are just funneling that boss, and they like really pop off in P2, P3.
Unholy's bugged at the moment. I have seen this. Yes, I think that's so funny. Commander of the Dead doesn't buff your ghoul, so you have to press Dark Transformation before army. Yeah, I saw that one. That's a good one. I hate pressing Dark Transformation before army. So that's fun. I don't know. I'll probably play DK a little bit because we're gonna do some re-clearing on Sunday, I think. But I'll have to keep that in mind. Apparently they've also broken like text to speech. Like, let's have a look. Let me test this. Team 1 balls. Oh my god, it's so quiet. So then, to make sure that text to speech actually works, you have to go into your settings. And then you have to turn up your, like, sound effects or something. But then this also turns up the effects of people's, like, spell casting and stuff. I don't know. It's scuffed. Good game. Oh, yeah, they also bugged Lura. That's a good one as well. That's insane, by the way. And they buffed Illyria. I don't know why they've done that. Like, buffing... buffing a boss. Oh, after Hall of Fame's close for it. That's a choice. And then Lura's got this bug in P3 where apparently players will sometimes not count as standing in the light. And if you're outside of the light, it does like ramping damage on you, basically. So the first tick doesn't hit too hard, the next tick hits harder, the third tick you're probably dead. And sometimes if you're stood inside of the light in P3, it doesn't count or something. And so players just die. People are progging this boss, by the way. This boss is already hard, and yeah, great. I saw the reload clip. No, I haven't seen the clip. I saw it in I saw people talking about it in Raid Leader Exchange, I think. And I think there was a Wowhead post about it as well, so that's how I've seen it. Zenith Thirst is chaotic now, hard to fit in 2 more stomps. Yeah, I think that's a concern most people have had. I haven't played it myself. I'm gonna do some messing about with it in a bit. So I think for now, I'm just not gonna take my Volt. I'm just gonna leave that there. But I'll probably end up taking the weapon on the basis that because from what I understand, right, we can't get super max item level weapons yet, can we? Because things now go to... It's 289, but you can get them higher, right? I'm so confused. I have not spent any time looking at this. But, like, weapons are the one thing that you can't. Oh my god, these are awful. Raid, I guess? As well as this, right, this Void Forge thing. I didn't know about this until last week. But apparently it's been, like, a thing for weeks now, where you can go do this thing, you can go kill raid bosses and then stack this thing up. I wish I knew about this, because I haven't done anything towards it, so I'm like 1 out of 6 or something. I think I have to like do this quest like multiple times now, just to even get up to par with where like you should be. So this is really cool. I wish I paid more attention to this, because I have no bonus rolls. I think this is correct. And then he just gives me the same quest. Okay, so now it's from 1 raid boss. Oh no, it's not. Is it? How many dungeons? Tell me I get like it's not 3 dungeons. Oh my god, I'm gonna have to do 3 dungeons to get 1. Do I even care about bonus? I mean, I do, yeah. And there's a quest here. Do I want this? Oh, okay. Yes, I do want this. Wait, no, this is a world quest. I don't want this. Ew. Where can I find your reminders, or is it private? I haven't made any reminders for this tier on the basis that I've barely played Windwalker this tier. But I'll be playing Windwalker a bunch more now, like with reclears and stuff. On top of that, so it's not necessarily a bad thing that there's no reminders, because right now everything will have changed, because there's a good chance for a lot of bosses now we're going to be playing Spiritual Focus. There might still be an argument that you play Drinking on cover on maybe 1 or 2 bosses, but 1 minute Zenith just seems like it's going to be highly likely played on most things, which would mean all of my reminders would have changed anyway, even if I had produced any. So, kind of sounds like a bit of a cop-out. But basically, I've just barely played Windwalker. I've been playing mostly my DK. I pretty much gained the System level for Windwalker mostly through Mythic Plus. I did like a few bosses, but like it wasn't like it was like basically like the first few. So like I haven't touched Paladins. I haven't been on Illyria. Yeah, and things are all gonna change now based with like Zenith timings and stuff because we're gonna end up likely switching to Spiritual Focus for Raid. Definitely for M+. Weapons and trinkets can now go to 298 with the singularity thing, but it's not out yet. Okay, I get you. But it is probably worth having a mythic track weapon, because I've heard that crafted ones can't go that high. So I will likely take that from the vault. So my vault's not complete like garbage. 0 contributions? Yeah, I've had no... I didn't even know this was a thing. And then I haven't been on for like the past couple of days. Best thing to do is queue the 3 bosses in LFR. Oh my god. Will I public my new reminders if I do them? Yeah, for sure. I have a reminders channel in my Discord. Once I've done the bosses, I think we're re-clearing on Sunday, Monday, maybe? I don't know how much we're actually doing, but anything I do from then on, I'll try to post reminders. Yeah. LFR. Ew, okay, maybe. Maybe it's faster to go normal? I don't know. Well, okay, sure. I'll do some LFR. Yeah, I love that shit. In the meantime, I'm going to go to a target dummy and see where our damage actually comes from and how it feels to play. So do 3 bosses, do each wing, come back here, hand in, do... Yeah, I get you. And I imagine most people are going to be using their bonus rolls in Algathar's Academy, but I've heard that you don't want to use bonus rolls right now in M+. So if you haven't heard that, you're hearing that first here. There is a bug at the moment, I don't know if it's fixed, but essentially if you use your bonus rolls in a dungeon, you can get dupes. Which is the entire idea of the bonus roll is you don't get dupes. So good job, Blizzard. Good job, Blizzard. Nice one. Yeah, duplicate items. So let's say because I think the bug is that let's say you're doing Algathar Academy, right? And your goal is to get the Algathar puzzle box. And you do a bonus roll and you get the potion stained cloak. You run the dungeon again, you can get this cloak again. And I think it comes down to tertiary stats, I think was what I've heard, is that you can end up getting another cloak when it should no longer be on the table. And it comes down to the fact that that cloak could have like avoidance or something. So I don't know if that's been fixed yet, but if you can avoid using your bonus rolls right now, don't use them. Double cloak. Yeah. Not fixed. Yeah. So basically, do not use bonus rolls right now. I don't know if it's the same in Raid, but I would just not even use them right now. Also, I have a massive gripe with this area, right? Does anyone come here and like, obviously you come here like to mess around, practice your rotation a little bit. Is anyone like really annoyed that the single target dummy is right next to another dummy, so you can't actually test single target because you cleave onto the second dummy? I love it. I love it so much. What's new for Windwalker? I missed it. So what's new for Windwalker? They've changed a few things. They have made it so that Crashing Fist, this talent over here, this used to extend the duration of Fist of Fury by 1 second. They've scrapped that, so now it just increases Fist of Fury damage by 20%. This means that you're going to spend less time actually channeling Fist of Fury. Whether you play Shadowpan or Conduit, you'll just spend less time actually channeling it, because you took that talent for everything. So Fist of Fury will always feel 1 second less, if that makes sense. They've changed the Apex talent now. So it used to be timed, so like every 6 or 7 seconds, 6, 7, haha. Every 6 or 7 seconds you generate a Tiger Eye Brew. Now it's every 3 chi that you spend generates Tiger Eye Brew stacks. But the key thing to know there is that it's baseline 3. So Fist of Fury costs 3 chi, right? But during Zenith it costs 2 chi. It still counts as costing 3 chi. So that's like a positive from it. So that's a good change, I think. The big downside change is the Apex Talent 3. This used to increase Fist of Fury's crit chance, now it makes it so that you have 3 Zenith Stomps basically every time you cast Zenith. So Fist of Fury's lost a fair bit of damage. But now we've got damage into Zenith Stomp instead. So let's say you press Zenith, then you can press Zenith 2 more times during that period and send out 2 additional Stomps. It's a little bit buggy with the Mastery at the moment, where it doesn't count towards Mastery. So if I went Blackout Kick, Zenith Stomp, Blackout Kick, I would break Mastery and lose all my hit combo stacks. They have not fixed that. That's cool. Thank you, Blizzard. As well as that, Tiger Eye Brew stacks are no longer 2% per stack, it's 1%. So, like, the biggest loss, like, it's going to be faster to generate stacks, but the biggest loss here is the fact that on pull on a raid boss, we start at 10, right? Previously, this would have been a 20% crit chance or 20% crit increase, right? Now you're going to start a raid boss and it's only going to be 10. So basically, you're always going to want to send out Tiger Eye Brew at 20 stacks now. But it stacks up to 30, but you can only send out 20. So 20 is your goal, right? So new 20 is old 10, if that makes sense. Am I augment reading this? No, I'm absolutely not. I don't know if I'm in the right talents for this. I don't care, it's LFR. Anything else change with Windwalker? I think that was the main things. I think those were the main points. Talents have had a little bit of a reshuffle. Oh, we're pulling the boss. Okay, sure. When am I going to fit in my Zenith Stomp? Okay, that wasn't too bad. I got 2 Zenith Stomps in there. What are we actually doing? Oh, we failed already. Oh, no, this is just extreme padding, no? What if I just triple Zenith Stomp this? Okay. Yeah, alright. I'll just triple Zenith Stomp that. Sure. I mean, I don't know if that's the correct thing to do, but if those ads die so fast that I can just, like, hit a triple Zenith Stomper on them, that seemed worthwhile. I don't know if you do that in Mythic Plus. I think on a boss like this where the ads die so fast, there could be an argument where just Zenithing and then hitting a back-to-back Zenith Stomp on them probably is valuable, seeing as Zenith Stomp is now my second highest damage on this boss right now.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
We should get another ad cert. Oh, maybe I should have stood in that. I think I'm just going to do it again. I'm going to send out a Fist of Fury on this, and then I'm just going to, like, literally just triple Zenith Stomp this. So, Zenith Stomp, Zenith Stomp. Okay. Oh, how stupid. Well, puzzle box here, because the boss is going to die. I might be able to hit it with a triple Zenith Stomper again. I mean, that was alright. Definitely probably not how you meant to play it. It does a lot of damage now. Okay. That's definitely not what you do in single target, but I can definitely see that being done on this boss. So repeat, Zenith Stomp doesn't break our mastery. So right now, Zenith Stomp is not part of our mastery. This is like an oversight by Blizzard. They need to make it part of our mastery. So basically, it is bugged, is what it's being called by the majority of like Windwalkers, right? In that it should be part of our mastery, because doing something like that is probably very anti-Windwalker, right? But as well as that, it means that if I wanted to press Blackout Kick, then I wanted a Zenith Stomp, and then Blackout Kick again, I break Mastery. So right now, theoretically, well, not theoretically, you can just triple, you can Zenith, Zenith, Zenith if you want to get out 3 Zenith Stomps back to back. But that's not how it should be. They haven't fixed it, so, you know, I'm just gonna do it. I don't think it's probably, I don't know if it's viable to do an M+, because I probably do want to be getting Fist of Furies out and stuff like that. But on, like, that, for instance, I knew those ads were going to get obliterated during, like, a Fist of Fury cast. I might as well send out 3 Zenith Stomps, make some value from it. Hopefully, yeah, that should get fixed. I say should get fixed, but, I mean, people are telling them about that on the PTR for, like, the past month, and they haven't sorted it out, so... God knows, genuinely. Do I need a separate keybind for Puzzle Box? Ideally, yeah, because it's a cast. So I have a separate keybind here for Puzzle Box, but I have it macroed. I can find it so that it casts my potion before Puzzle Box. Because I want my potion to give me haste. And if you end up casting Puzzle Box first before your potion, it will end up giving you mastery because Puzzle Box gives you so much mastery. Although I'm pretty sure, like, we've lost a lot of crit because of the changes to our Apex talent and stuff like that. It's likely that crit's going to get a bit more value from, like, gear and stuff like that, but that's just going to come to simming. I haven't done any sims or anything like that, but there's a good chance maybe that from the gear that I have in my bags, these aren't my ideal stats anymore. And I think you still do want haste on your Potion of Recklessness, but it's not as bad to have something like crit anymore. Like, previously, before the 12.0.5, it was pretty criminal to have something like crit or mastery as your what your potion gave you, but now it's not as punishing because, obviously, we don't get as much crit from our Apex talent. Are we just going to pull this boss? We are, aren't we? Go on, then. Where can I find this macro? Okay. I have it in my Discord. In the macro channel. Why did the boss just one-shot me, by the way? Oh, he devours everything. Okay. Are you sure it's not working? I'm pretty certain it's not working. I can double check. Hold on. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's not working. So I've been reading complaints all morning about it still being an issue. The easiest way to check would be to press Zenith and then see if it shows in the mastery in the top right of my screen. Where's my last ability used? Am I crazy? Is it not tracking mastery right now? I don't know, probably just another broken thing. Okay, cool. Maybe because I died, it doesn't... No, it's usually persist... Oh, I don't know, I'm not... Yeah. Good game. When it dies, it clears your last ability. Guys, I haven't played Windwalker in like a month, please. Trust me, I still know things. You gotta believe me. I'm running AoE talents on this boss. It's LFR. So in this instance, for instance, because it's single target, now I've got to be a bit more like smart with my Zenith Stomps. I don't want to like spam them or anything. I want to use them like correct priority. So I think that was fine. Like basically when Fist of Fury is off cooldown, on cooldown, Rising Sun Kick. mean, so far, I'm having no real trouble fitting things in. So I know I've seen like a lot of people like concerned or saying that they struggle to fit it in. Maybe it's a little bit different in like proper AoE situations because you're getting shadow boxing tread, so you're getting Fist of Fury likely up higher. You're probably getting more targets of spinning crane kick, so Fist of Fury is coming back up. Small sample size. How do you break the walls on LFR? How many ads do you need? Like, one? I'll do it. It is literally just one. Wow, okay. So I think the rotation's essentially similar. I probably don't need to take Revolving Whirl and single target. Like, I've seen some new sims. So like in AoE, like Mythic Plus, you're definitely taking Revolving Whirl because of the value from spinning crane kick hitting 5 targets. But I'm pretty sure now in single target, like the difference between taking Echoing... Is it Echoing Resolve? Basically, you can get away with just not taking it. I'd be interested to see what Zenithstomp's damage is like on pure single target. Oh, that one I actually almost missed. Zenith was like a second off. Okay, I can see it now. If you get like lucky with Fist of Fury procs, then you're probably in trouble. Especially when you're taking Spiritual Focus, right? Because your Zenith's only 15 seconds? So in single target, it's actually still not very strong, which kind of makes sense, right? Because you're not hitting anything with it.
They stood with us while others fled. You owe them more than suspicion.
But Fist of Fury has lost a lot of power. Like, previously it would probably be about, like, here-ish. Like, we're not talking massive amounts, but damage in single target is a little bit more, like, not massively lopsided. I can have a look. I can actually try the single target one for the next boss. Single target. I think this is it. But I probably want Jadefire Stomp. I think this is fine. This is like a variation. Ah, no, it's not. I don't want Skyfire Heal. And I don't want Communion? Yes, I'll drop Communion. If you're absolutely min-maxing the race, is it Orc, Void Elf, or Panda? I think if you're absolutely min-maxing... If you're min-maxing absolute damage, I'm pretty sure it's Troll. But if you're like min-maxing survivability / damage, then it's Panda. So I re-rolled my Windwalker to Panda. Although it would have been like better to go Troll for like pure DPS. Just getting that extra stamina can help. Because you get... Because the food buffs at the moment give you main stat and they give you stamina. So you double dip that. You get double main stat and double stamina. So, I mean... It's a little bit extra health, right? But I think Troll is still probably the best because it gives you haste on a 2-minute. For like pure damage. It's not Void Elf anymore. I think it's been Void Elf for a little while, actually. Which is a shame, because I prefer playing Void Elf Windwalker. Damn, why did I roll Orc then? I mean, realistically, when it comes down to races, it's so minimal, right? That you can genuinely just play whatever you want. But a lot of like specs will have re-rolled, or a lot of like players would have re-rolled to Panda this tier. If you look at like Race to World First hills and stuff, you'll see a lot of Pandas. Because Panda just seemed to just do so well with its double dipping.
morning, Baby J. How we doing? I've been a panda and monk since MOP. At first I thought I wouldn't like the panda model, to be honest. I thought it was maybe a little bit too chunky, but it's growing on me. So I have it on my DK as well. I'm probably just going to stick to panda. Alright, we'll try the full single target build here.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Oh, where we going? Do I move out with the mechanic? It is LFR. The answer is no. I see, right, this is one of those issues now when I have Zenith Stomp, but I wasn't able to press all of them because I was prioritizing higher prior abilities. I do get it now. But there are just some situations where you've got Rushing Wind Kick, for instance. You get, like, real good procs on your Fist of Fury cooldown. I'm pretty sure the correct thing to have done there was to send my 2 Zenith Stomps regardless. Okay, does make a bit of sense. So like with Drinking Horn cover, you have the extra 5 seconds to play with.
Sishik is now following.
I'm probably just going to wait for the damage jump and then just send. A little bit eager there. That was not the that was not the damage jump. Oh my god, that was not the damage jump. I'm trying to keep stacks on Tiger Eye Brew. Like, how fast is it actually generating? It's doing okay. I maybe would have expected a little bit faster. Okay, probably should turn cooldowns, right? So I wasn't able to get to 20 there. And the issue of not getting to 20 is that you're basically sending out such a like weak Zenith. Yeah, I mean that's about the same breakdown as it was for Veracius. Do I really have to keep doing LFR? I'd rather do M+. Yeah, I'm not doing this again. Is the opener for Windwalker the same as before the patch? Yeah, basically. Nothing really changes in that regard. The main thing that really changes is just making sure that you get your 2 Zenith Stomps in the Zenith window is the big one. And then if you are running revolving whirl, you need to make sure that you're managing your Dance of the Chiji spinning crane kick and your combo breaker, because you're proccing spinning crane kick, well, free spinning crane kick so more often, and each time you press free spinning crane kick with sequence strike, you get combo breaker. You need to make sure that you're not like ending up like overstacking combo breaker, because combo breaker is the one that makes it that your blackout kick's free, and then that can give you rushing wind kick. So if you start overcapping that, like it was alright to manage previously, because the only real ways to get it was through Tiger Palm, which was very rare. And then you could also get it through, you know, casting Whirling Dragon Punch. But now you can get natty spinning. You can get spinning crane kick procs from whirling dragon punch and just natty as well. So there's just a bit more of these to take account of. It's why I've kind of changed my trackable buffs at the top here. I wasn't previously tracking combo breaker because it was relatively chill to manage, right? When blackout kick close, press it. But now, because I've got 2 extra buttons that I need to press with Zen of Stomp and stuff, there's a little bit more to micromanage. And keeping an eye on stacks is pretty important. So overall, I think it's a buff? No. No, overall, I do not think it's a buff. From what I understand, like, sim-wise, it's the same in single target, and maybe a slight buff in AoE. Because you got to understand, although they've like given more power to things like Zen of Stomp and stuff, they've taken away a bunch of power from Fist of Fury by changing the Apex talent. So they've taken away the extra crit that you had in Fist of Fury. So that kind of like balances it out a little bit. So in quotation marks, it's pretty much a net neutral change, but it's a little bit more complex than it was. Like, we're not talking like massively. Like, we're not talking like it's going to be like, if you've been playing Windwalker, you'll probably be able to get grips on it pretty chill. But it's more the fact that it feels like they've changed like a whole bunch of stuff, right? It was like 5 or 6 different things got changed, and it changed our talents a little bit, and it changed like our playstyle a tiny bit during Zenith, and all that equates to is kind of the same, like essentially the same thing. But I'd say it's easier to like mess up now, if that makes sense. Because obviously, like, just then, on that boss we just did, I didn't get my 2 Zenith Stomps out. I prioritized something else over it, so I lose Zenith Stomp damage. So I think it is easier to mess up. It probably takes practice getting used to. I think our AoE burst is even higher now, though. That is something I will say. I think on bosses like... Let's say you're doing the dragon boss, right? And those orbs spawn, and you can hit them with a triple Zenith Stomp Fist of Fury. You are topping that boss, right? Like, that's disgusting. Especially if you're playing 1 minute, every time those ads spawn and they get grouped up, you can just hit every single one of them with like 3 Zenith Stomps. It's like the first boss as well, what I was doing on the first boss, where I was able to triple Zenith Stomp the ads as they spawned. So I think there are like niches where like the super high burst AoE might be useful. But overall it is weak. Because you got to understand as well, right? Our opener, like in raid, when we start on a raid boss, we are weaker than we were last week. Because 10 stacks this week are what 5 stacks would have been last week, if that makes sense. And you don't, and like, you start on 10. What they really should have done is they should have made it so that you naturally start at 20, which is a change that doesn't make sense why they didn't do it right. Because if they've nerfed the stacking of it, and 20 is now what previously 10 was, surely our natural state should be 20. Does that kind of make sense? Like, if our natural state being 10 doesn't make sense, because it's half as powerful as it was last week. So it kind of makes sense that our natural starting point on raid bosses is 20, because then we start at like full Zenith power, which, you know, you would have been at, which would be the same as it was last week. Because even last week, right, you weren't ever really going like up to 20 in like a raid boss or anything like that. You would be around like the 11, 10, 12-ish, maybe. Even sometimes even like 9 or 8, depending on like when you send your Zenith. So I think that was a little bit strange that they kept that at 10. Because now our openers are just weaker. It's just is what it is. Does Zenith Stomp work with Windwalker Mastery? No, it shouldn't. It doesn't. It's bugged at the moment. In the top right corner, where is it? It should be here now, right? Yeah, you can see Combo Strike Tiger Palm. It says Zenith Stomp, but I promise you it doesn't work with our Mastery. Wish there was a way to show it. Maybe through hit combos, actually. Is there an easy way to track hit combos? No. What? Why can't you track hit combos? Okay, Blizzard. Sure, why not? I can't believe you can't track hit combo. Okay. Alright, we'll build up hit combo stacks.
let's
Teletubby underscore
alright,
is
so we're
now
at 5
following.
here. So then if I press blackout kick, hit this, hit another Zenith Stomp, and then blackout kick. Wait, what? No, it did drop, so I don't have it anymore. But it didn't drop on the first. Why didn't it drop? Okay. Oh, right. No, I get it. Right. Because Zenith. Right, I get it. The ability Zenith itself counts as mastery. Does that kind of make sense? So it's like Storm, Earth, and Fire, right? Previously, you could Rising Sun Kick, Storm, Earth, and Fire, Rising Sun Kick, and Storm, Earth, and Fire counts as it. So Zenith, the actual ability itself counts as mastery. So you could go Blackout Kick, Zenith, Blackout Kick, and that would be fine. So like, look, I build up hit combos again. It's hard to see because it's in the top left corner. I wish there was a better way to track this. But it's not in the cooldown manager. So I'm at 5 stacks at the moment. I will press Blackout Kick here, press my Zenith, Blackout Kick again, and I have my hit combos, right? Because that counts as Zenith, not Zenith Stomp. And then, if I then Zenith Stomp, and then Blackout Kick, I lose my hit combos, because technically the last button I pressed was Blackout Kick. It's a little bit confusing. But the TLDR is that the actual Zenith Stomps that you press after Zenith do not count as mastery right now. But the initial one that you send out when you press Zenith does, because that's technically counted as Zenith. It's cooked. Like I shouldn't have to explain it like this, right? Like this shouldn't even be a thing. If it sounds confusing in my head, I'm trying to explain that. That's not a good thing, right? But it's one of those things where it's assumed that they will fix it eventually, right? That's the assumption. Like, because it should count as mastery. The Stomp itself should count as mastery. Because if you don't know that, right? Like a reasonable person would do Blackout Kick, Zenith Stomp, Blackout Kick. That is what a reasonable monk player would do, because that sounds correct. No, like all of our damaging abilities count for mastery. So any reasonable player will do that and be like, yeah, this makes sense. But if you do that, you lose your hit combo. And then you also break mastery as well. So yeah. Waiting for the bug fix on that one. I'm just used to Blizzard never testing our changes and getting a wonderful bug. We've had quite a lot of bugs this season that have been fixed, but it's just surprising that they... I mean, to be fair, there were a bunch on the PTR, or like the alpha, or beta, I guess, that only got addressed like before the season launched. So it's probably something they will fix, but definitely just an oversight. But it's not like it's not being reported. A lot of people reported on it. But it's why you can get away with doing something like Zenith Stomp, right? Which shouldn't work. You shouldn't be able to do that. Like that shouldn't be a thing you should be able to do. That you should be punished for that. Like Windwalkers shouldn't be able to press 3 buttons in a row that are the same. Because that goes against the entire concept. But you can just do that right now. And that's what I'm saying, right? That's why I think right now in its current state, it's going to be really good on bosses where ads spawn and you just need to nuke them down, and they get nuked down in like 5 seconds or so. Well, usually that would be a Fist of Fury that would like take up most of that duration. Right now, you can just triple Zenith Stomp it. So go get your rank 1 passes by Zenith Stomping ads. Do we prioritize spinning Crane Kick and AoE before Rising Sun Kick, or do we wait for the cooldown of Rising Sun Kick to use the spin more? Generally the second way round. So like priority is essentially the same in the sense that you want Fist of Fury and Rising Sun Kick. Like Fist of Fury is like the main one, right? When Fist of Fury is off cooldown, you want to send it, and then Rising Sun Kick is still used to reduce the cooldown of Fist of Fury. Whirling Dragon Punch when those two are off cooldown. Although, like, Spinning Crane Kick does work towards Zone's Battle Gear now, which I forgot to mention. Yeah, Spinning Crane Kick reduces cooldown of Fist of Fury by 0.5 seconds, up to 2.5 for 5 targets, right? You still prioritize Rising Sun Kick. because it's important to have Rising Sun Kick on cooldown as well for Whirling Dragon Punch. It still does decent damage because we still take things like Skyfire Heal. It's not like they've buffed Spinning Crane Kick's damage, if that makes sense, right? Like, these changes are good because it means that you want to Spinning Crane Kick a bit more, and it helps you get more Fist of Furies out. But Spinning Crane Kick's still a weak button. Like, it got no damage buffs or anything like that. So you're basically trying to use Spinning Crane Kick as a way to get more combo breakers, but also as a way to reduce the cooldown of Fist of Fury. But Rising Sun Kick's still better to press because, one, it can reduce the cooldown of Fist of Fury by 4 seconds, which is more than a Spinning Crane Kick can do, even at max. As well as that, it does splash AoE damage, and as well as that, it also unlocks Whirling Dragon
Mr.
Punch.
Clone is now following.
Does that kind of make sense? So, generally, it's more going to be a question of, do I Spinning Crane Kick or do I Blackout Kick? More so. Like, it'll be that decision. Like, once these 3 buttons in the middle are on cooldown, then it's a question of, okay, is it worth Spinning Crane Kick or then do I Blackout Kick? Which of these is the better button to press? And then that will take into account how many stacks you have of Combo Breaker on Blackout Kick, how many stacks of Dance of the Chiji you have Spinning Crane Kick. What spec am I using now for M+? Did you change anything? I haven't really pushed M+ because I've been raiding, so... Calm down, Paramount. What spec am I using in M+? I'm playing DK, Unholy DK, and Windwalker at the moment, but as you can see, I have not really pushed anything. I've basically got my 10s, done maybe a couple of 12s for fun. Am I allowed to have fun on this game? Maybe. And that's pretty much all I've done. I'm going to do some M+ now, though, because I need to do this Void Core quest, but I refuse to go back into LFR, because it's just not fun. I need my bonus rolls, you know? Where is this dude? Okay, we're 1 to 6. Okay, that's good. That's good. Okay, 2-6, 2-6. I did, however, find that in raids it's better to just stomp, stomp, stomp and not worry about chi loss there. Yeah, like, when it actually works with our mastery, it won't be a good thing to stomp, 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 but right now, you know, it is something that you can probably just get away with. Like genuinely, just stomp, stomp, stomp's probably not a bad thing. But even when they fix it with our mastery, right, at the moment during our zenith, we're going to be so, like, flooded with chi. Like, I don't even think chi is something that needs to, like, really be considered that much, because even without these Zenith Stomp changes before 12.8.5, in Zenith, right, a lot of the time, like, you rarely ever feel like you don't have enough chi to keep going. So now having even more, basically chi management during Zenith is not really something you have to consider, right? Like, you are just going to end up overcapping a bunch of times, and that's just is what it is. We're just flooded with that resource. How am I going to use my rerolls on Holy DK and Windwalker? Puzzle box. It's likely going to be puzzle box, right, for Windwalker. I'll probably end up going to Algathar's Academy and just spending them all to get the puzzle box is going to be number 1. Following that, I'm not sure. It's likely that I might... I don't know, I haven't really put much thought into it, other than the obvious one of go get puzzle box on myth track, right? Like, that's just kind of... yeah, that makes sense. Because I have a weapon in my vault, which means I have a myth track weapon. I have a mythic gaze. Probably likely going to be just, like, trying to get mythic track. Mythic track, like, gear. So what I'll probably end up doing is I probably won't spend them in the raid, because it costs 2 to do it in the raid, right? But 1 to use it in M+. So, like, just spitballing ideas here, but it probably makes the most sense to look at all the dungeons, see which ones have the most pieces of loot that I actually want, even if it's like catalyst pieces, right? So let's say one dungeon has head, shoulders, chest, gloves, and a neck, right? And the other one only has like legs, boots, and trinkets. Well, it's more likely that I'm just going to go to the dungeon that has like the bunch of pieces. I can catalyze them. Does that kind of make sense? But I don't know what dungeon that is. I haven't looked into that at all. But also at the moment, you don't want to spend your bonus rolls because it's massively bugged, and yeah, you can end up getting duplicate items, which is the entire point of it, that you're not meant to get duplicate items. But classic Blizzard, they they've made it so that you do get them. All right. Well, no. I'm gonna go do some dungeons. Let's play Get Decline Simulator. We've done Pit and we've done Academy. I love getting Decline Simulator. Yeah, Mythic Kim for Gaze is probably the only one worth spending on. Yeah, I think I'd agree with that. Because that's the big issue, right? Like, in Raid, it costs 2, right? But in an M+ dungeon, it costs 1. It's why I think that it's more... Let's say you want to go for, like, a head and chest, for instance. You could go to the respective Raid boss and try to roll there. But the issue of that is that you're spending 2 of them rather than 1. So it makes sense to go into a dungeon that has both of those, spend 1, and then basically, if you spent, like, 4... and you get them both, then you spent the equivalent in the raid anyway, right? But the raid, there's like more pieces of loot that you can actually get on that boss, specifically. And you have to roll on 2 separate bosses, right? Which means the loot pool's kind of probably bigger than a dungeon if it's 2 bosses worth-ish. So unless it's like a trinket, like a gaze, probably best to just spend everything in M+, your bonus rolls. I'm trying to think of other trinkets. Like, really, it's just puzzle box, right? You don't really want anything else from the raid. A weapon as well. A lot of the dungeons have weapons. There's no real raid ring. I mean, maybe you could go for, like, the Illyria neck, but I don't think the Illyria neck's that good. This is actually just going to be Decline Simulator, isn't it? It's like that meme where it's like, the people at the party and the people are dancing. They're doing their M+ keys and I'm in the corner. It's like they don't even know that I have Mythic Lure. Let me in. They don't they don't even know, please. Oh my god. Fine, I'm gonna go get my own key. I've been getting declined for 40 minutes, queuing for 10 to 12s. Meanwhile, I have 3.5k IO. Okay, yeah, it's gonna be my own key angle. Meanwhile, right? Meanwhile,
J13 just
I play on
subscribed.
my I play on my DK. I get insta invited to whatever dungeon I want. It's actually a different world. Like, I don't even think about it. Like, on my DK, I had plus, like, 10s and 11s. I was queuing up for 14s. People were just like, come in. You playing DK? Get him in. Meanwhile. Also, thank you, Baby J13, for the prime. Appreciate that. Thank you. That's real kind. Okay, we're gonna go grab the key from Lord Lindormu? Lindormu? Yeah, Lindormi. What the hell is this? No.
I can't wait to hear about your adventures.
Highlight enemy forces when I perform the tank roll. No, I'm okay. I have an 11. Oh my god, no one's gonna join that. I don't even get score for that. Oh my god. Do I need to, like, boost my item level? What gear do I have? Hold up. Oh, this is the issue, right? This character doesn't have real many mythic pieces to send on. I could do the neck. That's 2. No, actually, no, I don't want to waste... what am I talking about? It'll be fine. Starting 11. It'll be fine. People will join. Trust me. The guidance glow can be enabled for all M plus keys now. Honestly, big W. Is that just for tanking, though?
Good luck, Grandmaster.
Found any good treasure lately?
Yeah, yeah. Okay, that's cool.
You find lots of treasure out there.
It's a lot of warlocks. Is this a good dungeon for warlock? that's a lot of them. Mine EU and ANA, I don't have much trouble getting into 12s. My eye level is only 275. Granted, I'm starting in 12s this week. Yeah, I am in EU. I mean, I've always found it difficult to get into keys. Not like crazy difficult. Usually at higher keystone levels, I find it like the hardest to do. Like when you get to a point where people just want to run meta comps, right? Usually I rely on my item level to carry me, but generally right now my score is not very good because I haven't really run dungeons. Well, you decline me as well. Oh, no one's gonna do an 11. No tank and healer in their right mind does an 11. Brewmaster PAV inbound. Oh. Oh my god. Thank you, Maniso. You're a real one. Resto Sham for Lust? No, or you just send it without? At this point, I don't even care about Lust. All I care about is getting a key that is higher than a plus 11. Because I feel like the keystones that are the most dead are plus 11s and plus 9s. It's a weird one. Plus 9s, because it's not a plus 10. Like, no one ever does plus 9s. They're like one of the lowest ones. You find more people in plus 4s than a plus 9. And then no one does plus 11s because most people do 10 and then go to 12. Like 11 is also just this weird dead spot that people just do not do. Like I could drop it, but it'll be fine. Everything's gonna be okay. Just go on my DK. Just go on my DK and go do some 15s. Miniso, you're a real one. I appreciate you. Thank you. Yes, save me from this hell. Oh my god, the 261. Okay, they cancelled. Understandable. Understandable. I'm so confused. I know Midnight Falls next good for me. It seems better on champion track than 2 myth next. Yeah, it might just come down to secondary stats, right? So I was having a just get these. I don't you don't need Lust. Lust is overrated. What is the Midnight Falls neck, even? So it's Haste Mastery, right? That makes a bit more sense. So the big thing with Mastery at the moment is that Mastery's decent, and it's about on par with Crit. But a lot of the time, Mastery, like, once you reach a point, the sim... Because we're running Puzzle Box, right? You likely have a Puzzle Box, I'm assuming. You use your Puzzle Box, and that gives you a ton of Mastery, and it's during your burst period, right? So Sims tend to enjoy things like, you know, natural haste and crit instead. And they'll reach a point with mastery where it's like, okay, that's enough. You're just going to get carried by your puzzle box now. Because I found that a lot, that it stopped giving me recommendations of mastery necks. Where am I going? Double socket? Double socket's good. I'm not sure quite what a gem translates to in terms of eye level, but I think they're relatively decent right now. But if you're being recommended, you know, other necks over that one, it just means that right now the Sims recommend that your secondary stats are better with something else other than like the super high mastery. What the hell is this? They've added support for percentage next to nameplates. Isn't it funny that, like, it feels like we had everything in the War Within, and now we're in this expansion, and then, like, week by week or so, like, something that we lost in that expansion has just come back. Oh, no, I don't need to ready check. That's a misclick. Everyone's ready. It feels like eventually we're just going to get to the point where...
3, 2, 1.
I think I'm in single target talent. Nope. Okay, good. That's good.
5,
Like, it feels like eventually we are just going to get to the point where we were in the War Within. But I don't know. It just feels like... like, why? Chat, my tank just left the instance. It's over. Just leaves. Leaves group. Refuses to elaborate.
The Ranger General was sharp and steadfast, while the Peacekeeper kept the calm. Which path will you choose?
your survival
Okay.
isn't necessary.
Sure. Why not? Just get one shot. Okay. Why did I just get one shot there? I don't care. I am just dying. I don't think I've ever taken this much damage at the start of this dungeon before. Mistweaver smart heals, not smart? Oh my god, it's this affix. So we should be able to get the triple stomp off here.
Yeah, I like kind of how damage seems a bit more like balanced. It's not all just Fist of Fury for sure. I am bleeding out again. Classic. So in this situation, like, do I just not want to like triple stomp before the spiders are dead? That not just make the most sense. So that's technically not how it's meant to be played. But I mean, if they've broken our mastery, you might as well just abuse it. Oh, please God, no. Please don't leave me. Okay.
The soothing sounds of my harp brought Verisa joy beyond measure.
Am I washed?
I'll need that relic.
Is it over? Oh no, I missed the big pull. Yeah, I'm just gonna triple stomp here. And then get one shot. Okay. I have some big
Psycho Yeti
questions.
is now following.
Some of it I think is my fault. But also I feel like I should not be taking this much damage. I'm almost concerned that my gear's broken. The triple Venn diagram ring. Well, we'll see on this boss, but I genuinely feel like I'm taking an absurd amount of damage.
Dragonhawk seems to have stolen my harp. She won't let you close without
Maybe I'm just so used to DK. Maybe it's just been so long. Because here, right, I want to triple stomp this, surely. Yeah, that was like nasty. I mean, I'll say one thing: if they don't fix this this mastery interaction, our burst damage is just ludicrous. AoE burst, not single target. Our single target burst is pretty bad. Okay, so I've managed to get like 16 stacks of Tiger Eye Brew, and that's in about a minute. So it is playing a little bit of catch up. It's not quite like, so I think the idea was that like you'd roughly get about 20 stacks per minute, but it's not quite working out like that. So it might end up being that we have to delay Zeniths for a little bit. Because realistically, you do not want to send out Zenith unless it's 20. And I missed a stomp there. Glorious. Also, I have this really strange bug at the moment. You might see my like puzzle box glowing every so often. It's whenever I get Rushing Wind Kick, my puzzle box glows. And then when I cast Rushing Wind Kick, my puzzle box stops glowing. No idea why it does this. They're not macroed together. There's no like logical reason for it. And I'm wondering if I'm the only person that has this issue.
Honest didn't ask to be Ranger General,
But
she gave
because it's the only button that glows. And it makes no sense. Oh, I want to go. I'm doing it. Okay.
gifted by our mother. Undead fanatics have invaded to loot it and anything
Oh,
else that
no.
belonged to her.
I have regrets. What the hell am I listening to right now? Yeah, I think the one thing I'm not happy about at the moment is the apex stacking. So let's say you're on a raid boss, right? For instance, you will always be in combat. In M plus, there's a lot of like time in between trash packs, right? When you're running in between them, when you're not generating stacks. But obviously, your Zenith cooldown is still, you know, working. But then on the other side, I have 20 stacks right now, but maybe it's worthwhile building up even more. Maybe you want to play it where you actually try to build up more. So it can go up to 30 now. You don't get as punished for like overcapping, but then at the same time, then that builds into your next one, right? Because now I already started off at like 5 or 6. Oh my god. During Zenith though, you're absolutely drowning in chi. It's actually kind of...
Toby3546 is now following.
It's genuinely too much. Like, I think any thoughts of trying to manage chi during Zenith is just absolutely pointless. I think you just need to accept that you're just going to have way too much now. Because you've essentially gained an extra 4 chi through the changes. So once again here I'm at 20 stacks, right? But there's no point really sending because the boss is pretty much dead. But then I'm not punished for not sending because it can stack up to 30. So I do think that's a good change. I think it's just going to take some getting used to. Because previously, like, sending at 10 is a lot easier than sending at 20, right? Also, energy being at cap for a fair bit during Zenith. Yeah, exactly. I mean, during Zenith, our resources are just overloaded. Like, the actual burst AoE is disgusting. Like, you go... like, what? Like, what is that damage? Like, outside of our... Like, on single target, and outside of Zenith windows, our damage is going to be pretty mid. But when you have a Zenith and you pull a massive pack... I don't really know... It's definitely stronger than it previously was. I think what I'm trying to say is it feels like our damage profile is slightly shifted. Not, like, massively. But I think we're definitely much more of a burst AoE, because that's just disgusting. That's, like, absolutely disgusting damage. And I'm going to do it again now, because Zenith is on a super short cooldown, and we've got, like, an entire pack here. Because, like, we're playing 1 minute Zenith, right? Which means essentially you should have it up for every pack, as long as you don't, like, oversend. Like, I oversent on that last one, so I should have it up for this pack coming, but I don't.
Um, but like you can consistently do like huge damage on every pack. Oh god, orbs. Oh no! But I am, like, although Fist of Fury is a lot of damage, there's a lot less pressure on it right now. So I think positioning was super important previously. It's a bit more lax now that the damage is a bit more spread out. So if you were messing up your Fist of Fury positioning, right, like you were super punished. Obviously still does your most damage, right? But it's not as like, you're not as doomed. And honestly, I don't really notice the channel time being shorter. And on top of that, I actually don't mind the channel time being shorter. So I think another big issue that we had with Fist of Fury is because the channel time was like a second longer than it was now, that's a second longer that you can end up in situations where you have to do forced movement or you want to commit an interrupt, right? Let's say it adds casting. But your Fist of Fury is suddenly a 3-second channel. And if you cancel it, you lose all of your damage. So like here, isn't this just like a triple Zenith Stomper? Right, because the ads just get one shot. Okay. See, my thoughts are, do you probably still loot that even if it does break mastery? That's going to be the toss-up, right? Like, is that worthwhile doing if it does break mastery? Probably not. I guess it depends how much value 6-stack hit combo actually has. It's a shame I don't have Zenith right now. We'll pretend that I hit those with a leg sweep. Well, we'll pretend. I definitely like the overstacking aspect of this. Because right now, I'd be punished for holding. I would have had to send here, otherwise I'm massively punished last week. But because it's not even at 30 now, the benefit to this is I'm going to send out 20, but it's also got stacks already on the go for my next one coming. So that is positive. I do like the increase that to 30. I think that's what it initially was on Alpha. I think it was 30, but they removed that and then they brought it back. Some cool tech that you can do on this boss that you likely already know is that you can transcendence the mechanic. I imagine you probably all know that. But if you don't, you can. If I don't cast Whirling Dragon Punch at the exact same time as it comes through, then you can do it. I deserve everything that happens.
Internet user 97 is now following.
It looks like we're less dependent on mastery, and the Radiant Plume sims higher than Puzzle Box. What sort of sim are you doing for that? Is that just like a single target sim? Alright, let's see if I can do this correctly this time. Okay, that's just disrespectful. The freaking Mistweaver pre-cocooned me in anticipate. That's honestly, I deserve it, but it's disrespectful. I feel hurt. Straight up pre-cocooned me. Oh my god. There's no living that down. Ah, Dungeon Slice 10 minute. So there is something worth mentioning with Dungeon Slices at the moment. I don't know if it's been posted publicly. First off, thank you, Manny, for helping with that key. You took me out
Why
of
not
hell
Zero
and
O
depth,
is now
so I
following.
appreciate you tanking that. Sorry, I was so cooked. It's been a while since I've done a dungeon. It'll be better. So, Dungeon Slice, from what I understand right now, is good for... It's good for looking at like damage breakdowns and stuff, but apparently you shouldn't look at it for trinkets. I think it's not good for trinkets and talents at the moment. Like there's just something wrong with it. Let me have a look. Let me have a double check if what I'm saying is correct.
Laguna 2050 is now following.
Yeah, there's a lot of like conversation that I'm reading right now that's talking about Dungeon Slice. It's why I bring it up. It's why I asked you which sim you were doing at the moment. I think the issue of Dungeon Slice is it shouldn't be used for like trinkets and stuff. Try like run the sim again on single target and see if it does the same thing with the trinkets, right? Because there should be no way that Puzzle Box isn't the best trinket right now, if that makes sense. Like Puzzle Box should be simming the highest if you have a Puzzle Box. So I think Dungeon Slice is still okay for like simming like damage. Like it should be okay for looking at like your actual damage in a dungeon, maybe. Like roughly, or AoE situation, getting a rough benchmark of where your damage should come from. But I think the APL at the moment is there's just something not right with it. I don't understand enough about APL to tell you what's wrong with it. But trying to look at talents through it and look at trinkets, I think, is not working correctly. So why it will give you results such as Plume is better than Puzzle Box, right? On single target, 3 target, 5 targets, still some Puzzle Box better. Yeah, exactly, right. So yeah, single target specifically as well. And then if you do the 3 targets and the 5 targets, showing Puzzle Box is better. Yeah, it's something's just wrong with the Dungeon Slice sim. That's showing some results. Like I think I was reading that they were potentially going to not recommend people using Dungeon Slice, but that's difficult. I'm not sure what the decision is going to be at the moment. But there are some iffy things with it right now. Appreciate all the follows, by the way. Bunch of people followed. Thank you. Everything does line up so nicely with Puzzle Box now. Yeah, I think that's also like a slight benefit. Like, don't get me wrong, Drinking Horn cover was useful, as it extended your burst window, but playing 1 minute 20 always felt awkward. Maybe not so much in Raid, where you could get away with it, but in like an M+ dungeon, right, 1 minute 20 does always feel a bit awkward as it keeps delaying your Puzzle Box further and further and further and further, until it finally catches it back up and then you're in sync again. But by that point, you've essentially lost a cast of Puzzle Box through like your dungeon run. Whereas right now, playing 1 minute, in theory, you should be able to, as long as like you send Zeniths like minutely or so, you should always have one up for the Puzzle Box. So it plays a lot nicer. So that is a nice change. Happy I found you. Was looking for someone to play Windwalker because I hardly see any. Ah, you came at a great time when I just run it down mid in a dungeon. I hope I have convinced you to stay. Yeah, not my greatest performance ever. One shot, 10 seconds into the dungeon. I do stream here and there. And I make YouTube videos as well about Windwalker. Let's have a look at the breakdown then. So this is... I like this. Because previously Fist of Fury would have been about 50%, right? And this is what I mean, like, it's not great having, like, just one button be all of your damage, in the sense that if it's a button that can reliably hit every target you want it to hit, then sure. But the biggest issue with Fist of Fury is... I tried to show this in one of my guide videos, but Fist of Fury is so precise with your positioning for, like, actually hitting stuff. And I'm trying to find these dummies right now. You can also cast Fist of Fury outside of its range for hitting targets, which is also fun. So, like, right here, where I can actually press Fist of Fury, this is too far to hit this target in front of me. Right? I can actually show you. Let me turn on these numbers. Damage numbers. Alright, we'll target palm this guy, and then if we go, like, just in range here, Fist of Fury doesn't hit, even though you can press it, right? Like, there's no damage numbers, it doesn't hit the target. As well as that, it's like a cone ability, right? And it's like a, kind of like this. So, my point being that, like, it's so positional where you have to be to hit everything, and then if you, like, group up adds and you're doing, like, cleave as well, a lot of the times you will just end up missing targets, just naturally. But as well as that, because the channel time of Crashing Fist increased Fist of Fury by 1 second, you know, this would have been like a 3.5 second cast of Fist of Fury, right? The big issue of this, when it, like, don't even think about damage, right? You think about you doing a Mythic Plus dungeon, and you're casting Fist of Fury quite a lot, and it's like a almost 4 second channel at times. And interrupts start coming out, mechanics start coming out. A lot of the time, like, you just have to cancel your Fist of Fury to interrupt, or move out a mechanic, cancelling your Fist of Fury. Like, there's a lot of those situations where it feels bad to, like, cancel at any point. So I think it's positive that the channel times come down, just for that sole reason, right? Because there's nothing worse than, like, breaking a Fist of Fury for any reason when it's all your damage. So, like, I think the point I'm trying to make is that it feels better to have a bit more, like, balanced damage. Like, I didn't mind that Fist of Fury was all the damage, but, like, when you actually play it in Keys and in Raid, and you have to cancel it for whatever reason, one, you've lost all that damage, and two, it just feels bad. Because you know that you just lost everything just to, like, get hit and interrupt and stuff. So I think it'll feel a bit better, and I also think that's then, in turn, going to be a bit of a damage increase just in general. Even, like, for instance, the damage hasn't actually changed. Like, our damage should be about the same. But if you can more frequently hit damage that you don't self-interrupt and stuff like that, that's technically a damage increase, right? Because you're not screwing yourself by, like, pressing a Zenith Stomp, right? It's just an instant active damage AoE. And it's our second highest ability now, for, like, in a dungeon. Well, that takes a lot of the brunt away from Fist of Fury. Being super, like, cringe at times, if that makes sense. I don't know if I'm explaining it correctly, but it's a damage increase, but not because it's a damage increase. Can I share my talents? Yeah, I can share my talents. These are what I'm using at the moment. Is it really best to play 1 minute Zenith even in higher keys? I think so. I haven't run higher keys. The main reason you want to run Spiritual Focus at the moment is because it's just better to get more Zeniths out throughout a dungeon or whatever. Because, like, I don't have my breakdown anymore. My second highest damage is now Zenith Stomp. And you get your Zenith Stomps every time you activate Zenith. So being able to activate Zenith more frequently means more Zenith Stomps, which means more
Rosie
damage,
2X
if
is
that
now
kind of makes
following.
sense. Whereas Drinking Horn cover makes it so you're playing 1 minute 20. And it's only like a 20-second, like, difference, right? But I think the big change is that a lot of our damage, like, our actual Zenith window isn't quite as strong as it was previously. So having that increased, it's okay, but it's actually still, like, a relatively, like, mid-ish damage burst window. Whereas a lot of the burst comes from, in that window, a lot of our damage actually is coming from the stomp itself. So having more of those stomps throughout a dungeon makes more sense than having that window longer to get other abilities out, is what it's kind of feeling like. We get Tiger Eye Brew stacks quicker now? Yeah, we do. Because it's based now on how much chi you spend rather than a set time. I like Fist of Fury since I can have a sip of coffee while it goes. I'm the same. I like Fist of Fury. No matter what its channel time is, it always has like a semi-decent length channel time, right? So it just allows you to go do something else, you know, scratch your nose or even just think about what you're going to do next. It is one of my favorite abilities. Just that little bit of downtime. Maybe not sip a coffee though. I don't know if I can. I don't know if I can have a drink that quick. Can I show my stats? These are my current stats. Let me paste my talents for you. So I did say I was going to send those. I have no idea which chat that's in, so I'm just going to post my talents into both. What am I actually listening to? Usually my random Spotify playlist goes hard. This is going soft. Alright, let's we should be able to actually form decent groups now because I have a 14. Nexus Point Zenas. Alright, let's actually start pushing some keys. Or at least doing some keys and getting some score. Are these your Mythic Plus stats or your Raid stats? Currently, they're the exact same. I don't have a specific Mythic Plus or Raid build. Generally, because right now stats seem to be about the same for single target and AoE. I haven't truly min-maxed it because I haven't really been playing Windwalker too much. Over the past month, I've been playing mostly DK. And I think these stats are going to change slightly as well. I wouldn't be surprised, because I haven't done any sims or anything since the 12.0.5 changes, but there's a little bit more emphasis on having more natural crit, like natty crit from gear and stuff right now. Because we don't get as much crit from Zenith, our Apex talent anymore. So previously our crit was super carried by Tiger Eye Brew. Now, because Tiger Eye Brew has essentially been halved in its value, it's going to end up being better, likely to have a bit more crit. But I don't know how that will balance out with gear, because I'm just basically going to sim it and see what it says is better. I'm sure it won't be like too much of a difference. Sims keep wanting me to lower haste. I only have 21% haste. Shit. I wonder why that is. Because haste is good. Although, from my understanding, we have lost a bit of PI value as well. I think the main reason for haste tends to come from the damage of Fist of Fury, right? So our main need for haste comes from momentum boost, which is where like 100% of your damage is increased by your haste, right? For Fist of Fury, and all our damage was coming from Fist of Fury, but now it seems that there's a bit more of a balancing in our damage. That's like my logical thought of why potentially haste is not as valued anymore. I still think haste is valued 1, right? Like we're still haste, crit, equal mastery with versatility non-existent. As you can see, I don't have any verse. But I'm not surprised that haste maybe drops a bit of value maybe for crit on the basis that if Fist of Fury's lost a bit of its oomph from the Apex talent, I can see why it drops the haste. Because although haste like helps with like energy regen and stuff, the main reason we're stacking a lot of haste right now, or were before 12.0.5, was for the damage of Fist of Fury. But with Fist of Fury not doing as much as it did, and that damage being put into other sources, I can understand why it might be heading towards crit and stuff. Why are there no tanks or healers joining my key? I just wanted to say hi. Hey, Reedy. Well, that's not good. I was told that 14 was the promised land. Have I seen a free blackout kicks generate Tiger Eye Brew? From my understanding, anything like that will generate in the sense that it works where it's your baseline chi costs. So a good example of this is Fist of Fury costs 3 chi, right? So you send out a Fist of Fury and it'll generate a Tiger Eye Brew stack. During Zenith, Fist of Fury costs 2 chi, but it will still count as 3 chi towards Tiger Eye Brew. The same way that Spinning Crane Kick costs 2 chi, but if you have a free Spinning Crane Kick, it costs 0, but it will still count as 2 chi towards Tiger Eye Brew. So it does work in that regard. So I guess to answer your question, a free Blackout Kick will count as 1. Otherwise, I think we wouldn't generate like anything. Like our generation would actually be horrendous if you think about it. Like, let's say you're during a Zenith or something, and then all of these are like essentially halved in their chi our Tiger Eye Brew would be screwed. After patch, I see more people swapping to Revolving Will. Any reason for that? Yeah, the main reason for that is that they changed Zuin's battle gear. So it still works the exact same as before, with Rising Sun Kick reducing the cooldown of Fist of Fury, but now Spinning Crane Kick also reduces the cooldown of Fist of Fury by 0.5 seconds up to 5 targets to 2.5 seconds. So the main reason that we are switching to Revolving Will, predominantly in Mythic Plus, like there's arguments that it's still better to go Echo Technique in Raid and in single target, but in Mythic Plus, right, getting that extra Spinning Crane Kick before you cast out like that Blackout Kick is actually beneficial, because the only time you'd press it would be when Fist of Fury is on cooldown, so it's just another source of reducing Fist of Fury. So in theory, let's say you're fighting 5 targets, you press Fist of Fury, you press Rising Sun Kick and you get a proc, you then have a Spinning Crane Kick proc, and you press that as well, hits all 5 targets, you've reduced your Fist of Fury by 6.5 seconds with 2 buttons. So that's the main reason of the switch, right? It's not, you don't really want to be pressing too many more natty Spinning Crane Kicks. Like, it's not gained any power or anything, but it's just another source of reducing the cooldown of Fist of Fury that's been added to the party. So that's the main reason for it. You also notice I'm running Brawler's Intensity? Yeah, I am. I'm not necessarily too sure why. This is, in my mind, this is more of the Sims say it's better to. Like, this is what's been theory crafted to be the best. Like, I can explain Universal Energy, right? Universal Energy, your magic damage is increased by 5%. Why are we taking this? Well, that's because Zenith Stomp is nature damage. And because Zenith Stomp is a lot of our damage now, it benefits Universal Energy, so you get 8% increased damage from sending out the Stomps. I can't really explain Brawler's Intensity. Potentially just the reduced cooldown on Rising Sun Kick. It won't be because the Blackout Kick's damage, really. I think the main one for this is probably reducing the cooldown of that. That is a talent. I mean, probably is just reduced cooldown on Rising Sun Kicks is better. Okay, not my key. I'm gonna go find a key. This is actually crazy. Oh my god. I'm exactly where I started. I'm planning to run Revolving Will even single target just so I don't have different behaviors. I think it's actually optimal to run Revolving Will in single target. I think the sim difference is like a 0.2 or something, right? Which is almost negligible. But I think that is actually the optimal build to go. But I think the main reason I think it's mostly suggested not to is because in single target it can be a bit like complicated. Well, not like massively complicated, but it's just more to think about, right? But there's like no downside to going Revolving Will in single target comparatively. It's probably in theory the better talent to go, but you're not gonna gray pass because you take Echo Technique. Link my Algotha key. I don't have one. There's actually What do I need to put? What do I need to do to get into a groove?
Unifix 123 is now following.
Should I? Do I link cutting edge? No. Can we macro Zenith Stomp in any useful way? I don't think so. Oh my god. Do I drop my key to a 12? No, I can't. That's crazy. Surely you invite me to your 11 Skyreach, please? Oh. Oh. Okay, we're pushing some pretty heavy keys today, my guys. Oh, and an 11 Skyreach. Oh my god, lock in. Lock in. This is the content that you came to watch.
Where are we going today?
This is why we're all here. Oh my god. I feel like it's going to be one of those seasons where I literally have to pug every single number of the previous tier before I get invited to the next ones. Like, sometimes if you queue for a 14 and you don't have 14s, you get in. But this feels so despair. This feels like a... If I don't have full 11s, I ain't coming into a 12. You know what I mean?
Farewell.
Life. So it's pesky tier lists. Who put... Own up. Who put Windwalker in D tier? Own up right meow.
X-Ray 2 is now following.
Played one dungeon with these changes and it's so ass. What do you think? I've only played one dungeon as well. I actually don't mind it so much. I think it's going to take some getting used to. I think Zenith Stomp is absolutely busted. Especially in its like bugged mastery state. Like being able to just triple Zenith Stomp is just absolutely crazy. I have damage numbers on. Ew. I hate playing with damage numbers. It's because I was doing that demonstration on the dummies. Well, I guess they're staying on. Oh, I didn't even attack you. Please don't knock me.
Bad Boy Billy is now following.
Yeah, I definitely think triple like it's not how you're meant to play it, but I think there's a very big argument to just triple Zenith Stomping right now. The only thing that's really worrying about it is stealing aggro. Like, so if I just Zenith Stomp, Zenith Stomp, Zenith Stomp, well, suddenly I have at least a huge amount of burst damage. I've got all my Zenith Stomps out, and I'm not punished mastery-wise. Like, why would I not do that?
Montemol 699 is now following.
Nope. On single target, it's definitely not worth doing. But like on big pools where ads are just going to get obliterated. Because, like, as I said earlier, chi is not an issue. Like, although you're over capping chi a hell of a lot, you essentially do that anyway. Why is everyone dead? Can we kill this boss without a healer? I think we probably can, actually. Lock in. I mean, the Demon Hunters ain't gonna die. I'm probably the only potential person that's gonna die here because I'm a Windwalker. Ooh. Regret. I love it. My health goes back and forth, up and down. These guys are just like, let me leech. This is the plus 11 experience I wanted. Alright, we're getting Puzzle Box into a Zenith. It's only at 13 stacks though, so it's going to be a little bit weak. Oh no, go on, do more. Do more, do more, do more. Oh! Why did he get one shot? What have I signed up for? I mean, okay. Okay. Maybe actually Zenith Stomp, because you can Zenith Stomp, I mean, you can cast Zenith at the same time as essentially pressing Fist of Fury. So actually maybe it's better to go Zenith into Fist of Fury into then back-to-back Zeniths. I just tapped you, mate. Please no. So look, I've done that one, and now everything's targeting me. And then I Zenith Stomp again. Yeah, that feels cleaner. I swear to God, I always find the curse keys. I should have known the moment they instantly invited a Windwalker within like 0.5 seconds of me signing up. I should have known. This is on me. That was my first mistake. I was just as desperate as them. Let's be real. This Devourer is doing damage, though. Where's it all coming from? I will take this one. Thoughts? So I'm actually going to hold Zen up here for Puzzle Box because of the fact that now we can stack up more, right? I can stack to 30, so I shouldn't overcap here, and then that just helps the next one. So that's a big change I like. And then I'll take this one, Puzzle Box. Yeah, so Zenith Stomp's its own GCD, so you can't actually, like, macro into anything, I don't think. Or there'd be very little point in doing it, because you'd have to double-click the macro, basically. And for anyone who hasn't played it, Zenith Stomp isn't its own button. It basically just takes the place of Zenith. He's doing 100k. Oh my god, wait. The pack that's about to come up, right? It's the Big Bird pack. Oh my god. Into a triple Zenith Stomper. I'm going to get one shot. Actually, I'm going to get one shot. It's going to be worth it for the damage, right? Oh my god. I had Puzzle Box as well. I have no regrets here. I'm sending a triple Zenith Stomp. I want 1,000,000 damage. I do. I want 1,000,000 damage. Popping defensives. That is not even close to 1,000,000 damage. Get me out. What's even the point? If I was on DK, 500,000. And then he still overtakes me. What the hell? It did do a lot though, like 3 casts, 2.56 million damage. It does slap. Filthy padder, I hate you. What the heck? Understandable though. Oh no, after this boss I've got to do the Windwalker skip.
__ is now following.
Odds on me actually successfully doing the Windwalker skip? The results might surprise you. I'm pretty bad at it. Not on the egg! Not on the egg! Okay. Somehow that didn't hit. And my ring, I think my ring was on cooldown from popping those ads. Just do the bounce skip with a bird. I have seen that. I've seen it once. I saw a short of it. YouTube short of it. Oh no. Ooh. My hero. Okay, so let's just kill this boss and pretend that I didn't put those birds on each other. Let's if we look this way, we can't actually see the birds behind and what I've done. Oh. Okay, just deep breath. This is gonna go fine. Deep breath. We place this here. What? You didn't see anything? I did it first time. Lock in. And that's why you always place the Transcendence there, because I always mess up the first time. Super clean, super easy. Turn that into a short or something. I don't know. Sorry, it seems like a noob question. I swapped to Windwalker Monk this raid tier for Hunter, so we're supposed to cast Zenith Stomp now ourselves during Zenith? Not a noob question, only came in today, so to be honest, this is a super common question. It came in with the 12.0.5 changes. Hold on, let me just pop this puzzle box. I'm kind of hinting a little bit. So previously, Zenith Stomp was an automatic button that always got sent with Zenith. But now they've made it so that you have 3 charges of it technically. One always gets sent with Zenith itself, because we take the talent Zenith Stomp over here. And then you get 2 extra charges that you've got to use during your period of Zenith. Like the moment that your Zenith finishes its cooldown, which is either 15 or 20 seconds, depending on your talents, then you can no longer Zenith Stomp. So you do have to double press your Zenith, you do have to repress your Zenith to activate the stomps. But this change only came in today, so absolutely fine question. I'm not concerned at all. We need to kill this like ASAP. Don't worry, everybody. I'll do it. Don't even worry, guys. I think the one thing I am noticing the most is that by playing 1 minute Zenith, it's actually quite a struggle to get up to 20 stacks. Because like the last thing you want is to double stack Zenith. Like that's actually worse than sending out one without 20 stacks. Generating 20 stacks is actually it's not as quick as I might have first thought it was before the 0.5 patch came in. Like it's not slow, but it's tighter than you might think. I'm not alone struggling to get 20 consistently. Yeah, it takes more than I think. I think like I reckon it'd probably be easier in like a raid situation where like you're constantly always hitting a target right in raid. Like there's very little downtime. In M plus, like anytime you're in between attack, well that's time you're not spent generating it. But at the same time your cooldown on Zenith is still, you know, getting reduced. So I just about did it here. I got to 20 before like cooldowns basically lined up, but I've essentially been in combat non-stop since then. So like it's not impossible by any means, but it's tighter than I thought it would be. I mean, I hate to say it, but I've just been absolutely smoked by this Devourer. Yeah, just smoked me. No other way to put it. He has absolutely done me. Need Kleok? But then, like, once again, you look at the damage breakdown, right? A lot more of it's coming from Zenith Stomp. Like, don't get it twisted. Fist of Fury is still top damage. But you can see it's a little bit more balanced here at the top. Down here, same as it was before, nothing changes. But you are a bit more reliant on Zenith Stomp now to actually deal damage. Need Kleok. Power is bugged, apparently? Oh, okay. Either way, doesn't matter. So's Windwalker. So's Windwalker. Oh, are we bugged in a good way, though? They were buffed. I didn't know that. I've only been keeping track on like 2 specs. I know Unholy technically got a buff. I know it's bugged at the moment. I know they got buff. Well, it's kind of like a semi-buff where they buffed Ryder, but Sandlin is basically just Sandlin did not get buffed. Sandlin got put into the gutter. So I think once the DK bug has been fixed, then Ryder is just so far ahead. Devaria's popping. I don't even know how. I don't even understand how the spec plays. They pop stars or something, and they just do stuff. All right, well that went all right. I'll do 11 to 12 because I'm confident in my ability to get into a 12. We don't want to do Algothar or Pit. Triple Monk, I believe. Yep. Okay, it was a nice try. Chill AF, laid back. You get free summon, you get fun time, and you get loot. Oh my god, get me in. Yeah, get me in. Oh my god, it's the Chill AF one. Yes. I mean, in general, this patch is there's quite a lot of bugs with this patch. Not even just like class bugs and stuff, right? It feels very unquality checked. Like it's similar to like some of the bugs previously. Like you know how you had crafting and some people like if they recrafted their gear at the start of the season, it's cost them crest. I've heard that that one's back. I don't know how true that one is, but I'm pretty sure that's back. The massive bug at the moment with the game where if people spend their rerolls, they can get duplicate items, which is horrendous, right? Because people will be spending their things, and I guarantee they will not get their charges back. Like if you get a duplicate, you ain't not you are not getting your reroll back. So that's a rough one. Loads of classes are bugged. Windwalker, but you know that's just standard. This spec's always bugged. DK's bugged. Bower. UIs are cooked. I've seen some horrible UIs. Yeah, it's a good patch. It's good. Oh, bosses as well. Let's not forget bosses. Mythic Lura got harder. Illyria is not bugged, but they buffed it. So that's just funny. That's funny because it's not even like a bug that's making it harder. They like literally just were like, nah, turn this shit up. Most curse patch ever. Yeah, it's not great. What's the reason for making Lura harder? Well, it's not on purpose. It's a bug at least. The Lura one, but it's like a pretty massive one where you go into phase 3, and in phase 3 you have to be inside of people's light. Like certain players hold the crystal, and if you move outside of the light, you go into the darkness, and then you take like tick damage that ramps up, and you basically just die. But the bug at the moment is that even if you're stood inside of a light, sometimes it doesn't count as being stood of the light, so you just die. And if players die in P3, you are likely not meeting the damage check to even... Well, there's loads of issues dying in P3 is bad. Not even the damage check, but if people die with, like, marks on top of them for the memory game, you know, it's just a lot of bad things with dying in P3. Besides having to meet the damage check to actually beat the bosses in Rage, right?
We had our tanks become untargetable by anyone, including themselves, after wiping them yesterday. Yeah, so that's not even like a new bug for this patch. That we had that during prog, and it was always our guardian druid. I don't know if perhaps you have a guardian druid, but every few pulls, they would die, and then it would just turn out that they were not targetable. They couldn't get heals, and they pretty much they had to log in and out. There was a similar bug on Nexus King last year, and that was a guardian druid one as well, where the guardian druid would just become like not even like a real character. Can't press on them, can't do anything. They'd have to fully relog. Yeah, it was a druid. Yeah, I think it's an old druid bug from last year returning. No idea what causes it. But on like a boss that you can like wipe like back to back to back and then get that issue and then wipe back to back, get that issue. Like it's there's a bug right now where Voracious just melees random people even if the tank is aggro. That's a good one. Yeah. Essentially this patch is just very bad. Like in terms of like bugginess. Like there's just a lot of awful things right now. I love this game. I'm just glad I'm not progging Lura, because if I had to go back into Lura today, knowing that there's a chance that any P3 we get, you just instantly wipe, that would be the most demoralizing thing. If anyone's progging Lura in here, I'm sorry. don't get demoralized. But no, I'd be, yeah. I think it's Skyreach again. There's still a bug where Blizzard hates us Windwalkers still. I think that's just a game mechanic, no? Oh my god, it's me. Oh my god, he didn't flame me. What a chill group.
Weechi is now
Zenith Stomp
following.
has already caused me to rip aggro and die. Yeah, I think that's probably the main thing you have to be careful with Zenith Stomp, is that it's, especially if you do back-to-back ones, right, it's such high AoE damage, like in a short period of time, that ripping aggro of it can be pretty realistic. Like even before they added like the multiple stomps, it was quite easy to do a pull before the 0.5 patch and pop Zenith, and because you hit them with a stomp and a Fist of Fury or something, instantly rip at least like a couple of ads. Now if you're going for like a, you know, Zenith Fist of Fury stomp or something like that, like you're asking for those nameplates to change color, but you know, you can take one melee hit. You know, that's why they gave us Dance of the Wind. You can take one hit and then start panicking. My issue with the new stomps is I never use the last one because I never need the chi. I would try not to think of it as something that gives you chi and more as just damage. Because generally there's no, like, during Zenith right now, there is just no need for chi at all. Like, to think about chi or energy resources because we just got too much. So Zenith should just feel like a free period of like what is the most damage right now. So rather just get the stomp out than have it as like a I don't need to get chi right now. It's more for damage. In single target, less important because obviously it doesn't do as much damage.
But in like Mythic Plus and AoE especially, the stomps are so important to get out. Like missing one is a pretty big DPS loss. Like it's technically still going to be a DPS loss in single target, but you probably won't notice as much. Like on just this pull alone, right? It's my second highest damage. Not quite Fist of Fury still, but like the damage is like significant. But like just pressing it once.
Strong Oats is now following.
Ooh. These ads are so annoying. They're all jumpers. Like genuinely the worst sort of the worst sort of ads you can get, because trying to hit them with like Windwalker's abilities, it's not a massive fan of this. We are so overloaded on resources during Zenith. Like I don't think my energy, I don't even think I pressed the Tiger Palm there. My energy didn't dip at all, and then I was essentially just on like full chi for the entire thing. That is kind of nice. 'Cause there's nothing worse than like going into your cooldowns and then being a little bit resource starved. So that's a nice change. I'm a little bit scared of stealing aggro here. Okay, that somehow didn't hit. I think we're definitely going to excel more in dungeons that have like big trash pools. So more targets you have, right? Well, I mean that probably makes sense for actually anything, right? Any spec's probably going to excel more if they have more targets. But like I feel like you get so much more value in like a Windrunner Spire than I did in the Skyreach. Skyreach feels like it has like quite a lot of packs, but they're not like massive. That was a little bit annoying because the priority target ad was kind of not stacked. So I guarantee I missed like some Fist of Fury there. Maybe then we don't take the talent that generates chi with Blackout Kick. Yeah, you don't take Energy Burst anymore. It's worth dropping. I think maybe not 1-for-1 trade, but like you're basically swapping this with Universal Energy. And then you might also notice not running Obsidian Spiral because I'm barely pressing Blackout Kick now in Zenith. One, because the Zenith windows are shorter because Spiritual Focus is just better. But you basically don't need to generate Chi anymore with Blackout Kick, if that kind of makes sense. Like, if I do need to generate Chi, well, it'll just come naturally because I'm pressing Zenith Stomp, right? So, like, Blackout Kick is almost... Like, you still press it here and there. Like, I probably get, like, see, I get Blackout Kick now. But, like, in comparison to what it was, you are not Blackout Kicking as much anymore during Zenith. So, Obsidian Spiral is basically in the bin, and so is the one that generates a Chi. Essentially, the best way to look at Zenith Stomp is it is your filler during Zenith. But you still have to get all 3 casts off. Like, you can just use it as a filler, though, and it should work out. Basically, it takes Blackout Kick's place. And it does a little bit more damage than Blackout Kick. Let's put it that way. Ow. Oh god. I mean, this dungeon just feels great because the trash packs are so big. So I'm just getting tons of value from it. Like, it doesn't look like it's doing much. Like, when it says 20% of your damage, that doesn't sound like a lot. But to put it into perspective, like, what was doing 20% of your damage before? Before these changes? Like, all of it was just Fist of Fury, right? So to have any ability even, like, semi-contributing in AoE situations... kind of feels a bit good. It feels a bit more balanced. Like, I think the next highest was Flurry Strikes, and that wasn't even that high. And then following that, what? Rising Sun Kick? Okay. My tank just went flying. Oh no. We don't have a CR. Don't think so? No, we don't. I was hoping maybe that someone had,
Only the strongest
what you call it?
survive.
You know what I mean, the is it defibrilizers? Surprised they weren't able to lighter than air. Maybe not taking it. Because trust me, I've been knocked up by that bird so many times. You don't even want to know how many times that bird has like double knocked me up. But usually you can just like get away with it through lighter than air. I think it's based on range, because even if the bird's not targeting you, if you're too close to it, it just sends you up. How are we getting value from large packs? Aren't we target limited in AoE? I mean, we're not hard capped. So, regardless of target amount, you're still doing damage to those targets. It's just reduced, right? We don't have any, it's not like hard target, it's not hard restrictions on damage, it's just reduced. Uh-oh. I deserve that. I don't know why I pressed Will and Dragon Punch them. Stupid monk. Are we supposed to hold Zenith for a minimum amount of brew stacks now, or do we just want to send it in any decent pull? Like, in an... Oh my god, we do have one. Where am I skating? Like, in an ideal world, 20. Like, you really want to send it out on 20. Because 20 is the equivalent to old 10, and old 10 is what you generally wanted to send it out on. Easier said than done. Like, you can get to roughly 20, like, just from... I've only played a few dungeons, right? Probably play them a bit better. But generally speaking, you get to about 20, but it's definitely not worth, like, overcapping Zenith, if that makes sense. But, like, it's worth being aware that you're... It's worth being aware that your Zenith is basically... If it's anything less than 20, it's weaker than it was... Oh my god, please don't Regipet. If it's anything less than 20, it's weaker than an old 10 was. So, like, sending it out at 10, for instance, is, like, really, really bad. Because that's obviously... You only gain 5% crit. Like, it's obviously still your Zenith window, but it's better to have your Zenith window with more crit, right? So 20 is the goal, but sometimes it's not realistic, right? For instance, like, look, there's so much downtime that I'm not in combat here, so I'm not generating stacks, but my Zenith is going to come off of cooldown, or, like, start double stacking. I'm not going to hold this for 10 stacks, you know what I mean? So an M+, I think you're going to have to be a bit more flexible. Like, because once again, you can see, well, in that entire pool, well, I've reached 12 stacks. I can probably get it a bit higher. But am I going to reach 20 before I start double capping? It's going to be tight. Like, I might just about do it. So I think the best way to look at it is 20 is your goal. 20 or more before every Zenith is perfect, and you're happy with that. But overcapping is, like, more important. Not overcapping 2 charges is more important. So avoiding that is more important than having the stacks.
It be worse than we thought. How many of my people have died here?
Stomp now counts on mastery? No, it should do, but it doesn't right now. It's currently... I want to say bugged. I don't know if bugs is the best word, but it's not implemented to work with our mastery, which it should be. Like, there's no reason it shouldn't, but it just doesn't. Like, your initial stomp that you send out with Zenith will work with your mastery for the sole reason that Zenith itself counts as a mastery ability. even though Zenith doesn't do any damage, it's just a carryover from Storm, Earth, and Fire. Storm, Earth, and Fire did the same thing. So like your initial like cast of Zenith is Mastery. So you could, you know, Blackout Kick, Zenith, Blackout Kick, and then that won't break Mastery. But if you Blackout Kick, Zenith, Stomp, Blackout Kick, that will break your Mastery right now. There are a lot of casters in this dungeon. Like, some of these dungeons have, like, minimal casters, like, barely anything, and then some of them have, like, a lot. Not much consistency with it. Oversight, yeah, oversight's the word. An oversight that they... maybe they're not aware of, but they've definitely been informed of it. I low-key quite like the Zenith Stomps. It's just kind of satisfying pressing it. But the stacking is not great right now.
Send them, feeding them to that monster. There are souls still that we can save. You confront them, I gonna look at all the souls I can find.
The prep into Zenith is hype. It's like it's go time. Yeah, I am very much it's fun. I enjoy being woman it as well, right? Like, don't get me wrong, drinking horn cover's good, but it feels like we have a lot of damage a lot of the time. I feel like I cannot understate how strong Windwalker would be right now if they didn't change the stacking of Tiger Eye Brew to like 2%, from 2% to 1%. Because getting to 10 stacks for every Zenith right now is super easy. Very viable. Which means like every time you would essentially... oh, you'd have this... It probably would be too strong. That's probably why they nerfed it. But it would be absolutely like crazy damage. Not like rank 1 AoE damage, like busted spec. But like they only changed it from 2% to 1% a couple of days before this patch went live. Like there's speculation that it was because of Baloran, and that's why, like, because obviously on Baloran you do this cheese, we can call it, where you basically... What is a Windwalker's purpose on Baloran? It is to scramble the egg. How do you do this? Well, you pop your cooldowns 15 seconds before before fighting the boss. And then you have them up the intermission where you've got a 20 stack Zenith, a puzzle box, potion, double Zenith ready to go. Like, potentially, if this was the change here, that would be even more ludicrous. I'd like to think that's not why. I'd like to think that maybe they just thought, yeah, maybe it is just too powerful to have, like, you know, 20% crit every single time you pop Zenith. Maybe that is just a bit strong. But I guarantee Baloran did not help. I guarantee it did not help at all. He said F you, my bad. That's not chill. That's not chill.
There'll be many angry souls. I will keep them busy and keep them from feeding the monster.
What the hell? This is meant to be chill run. Okay. You can you can feel getting Fist of Fury back even faster, especially in like big packs, right? Like just when you hit the spinning crane kick, it feels weird to see the cooldown of Fist of Fury get reduced by that. So that is like that is a strange change, in a good way. Because Zun's battle gear has been pretty like static in how it works. It's always been to do with Rising Sun Kick, and that's really the only way you reduce the cooldown of Fist of Fury. So it's like it's catching me a little bit by surprise sometimes when my Fist of Fury reduces its cooldown. You can see though, like pretty much every like AoE pack is pretty much 200,000 damage plus. And like by playing 1 minute, 1 minute as well, I mean, I don't think there's a single pack I haven't had Zenith for. 1 minute's kind of cool. I'm not gonna complain. And you essentially get your puzzle box every other ad set. It might feel different on like a higher keystone when trash packs stay alive a bit longer. Rest in peace. He just got knocked off. I fear I'll play Giga Ass on Reclay today. I mean, it's probably to be expected, right? Like you're playing spec that is kind of had like a semi-relative like change to it. Like new talents, like slight tweaks to rotation, right? Especially if it turns out that in raid it is better to go spiritual focus, because there might still be some fights where maybe Drinking Horns covers better, but like having to readjust like Zenith timers for a fight can feel a bit weird. The 4-second channel was a hell of a design miss. Yeah, I do notice it. It didn't bother me at the time, but like now the channel reduction of Fist of Fury has been reduced. Like, you would just run into a lot of these situations where you felt so bad pressing Fist of Fury, and you would have to cancel it early for, like, whatever reason, right? Maybe, like, a mechanic comes in, or, like, you do just have to get a kick, or maybe, like, then you feel awful because you're not getting kicks, because you're like, I cannot cancel my Fist of Fury, that's just absolutely illegal. So having the channel be, like, even just a second shorter, it does feel a lot nicer, and a lot less punishing when you... because you do sometimes still have to cancel Fist of Fury, right, for whatever reason. It doesn't feel as bad.
With the creature dead and the vile branch gone, we with a
What's the add-on at the bottom showing the abilities I'm using? Or is that a natty UI thing? No, not a natty UI thing. It should be. It'd be cool if it was natty UI. I use a add-on called... There's a bunch of different add-ons that do the exact same thing, but I personally use Wild UTools, which is like a big quality of life add-on. Like, it has a bunch of things that you can do with it. I don't really use anything except for my GCD history with it. I just got a bunch of, like, small other things that it can do, which is kind of nice. Doesn't use that much memory either. With Fist of Fury having such high damage contribution, I really don't want to cancel it to do kicks. That's something you feel problematic with. Oh, yeah, I mean, I didn't even see that question, but I think I kind of answered it just now with what I was saying about the channel time. But yeah, no, for sure. Like, like, when it is all of your damage, like, don't get it wrong, it's still, like, a high amount of your damage, but it's not 50% of your damage anymore, right? Like, having to cancel it for whatever the reason always felt atrocious. And that's kind of like a negative sort of gameplay, right? You should not, like, feel bad for kicking something, but you shouldn't have to cancel your biggest DPS to kick something, if that makes sense, right? Because, like, to get the most out of Windwalker, you have to Fist of Fury on cooldown. But to get the most out of the game, you have to do kicks and mechanics, right? But, like, cancelling it for whatever reason felt awful. I'm still a big fan of them just either adding it as a talent, right, or just having some way that you can actually interrupt during Fist of Fury. Just seems like a no-brainer, right? There's no reason that shouldn't be a thing. Especially if it's like a huge amount of your damage comes from this ability and you're channeling it all the time. Surely you should just be able to, like, cast your kick during it. Like, you shouldn't be punished. You shouldn't be punished for kicking. So that's always a weird one. Maybe in the last Titan. I'm praying for a conduit buff. Probably 12.1 if there's, like, any light for conduit right now. Like, right now it is just... It's so far behind. Like, if you think, like, I'm, like, not having, like, the most fun with Tiger Eye Brew stacks with Shadowpan, like, conduit suffers even more, right? Because it's so reliant on its burst window. And although for each burst window you should guess up to 20 stacks, that is 20% less crit strike than you had last week for your burst window as conduit, no matter what you do. So, like, conduit just... Like, that's a massive loss when you think about it, right? Like, conduit relies so heavily on its burst, on its big burst window, but now, no matter what you do, even if you get to the stacks that you want to get to, you have 20% less crit for that window of time. Like, Shadowpan doesn't quite suffer like that, because its burst windows are good and important, but it's still, like, is relatively decent outside of it. On top of that, it still feels a little bit tight at times to fit all the Zenith Stomps into Shadowpan. Like, sometimes it doesn't, sometimes it does. Try fit those Zenith Stomps into Conduit when, like, when your Fist of Fury is like a like second like cooldown, and it like you reset it so quickly, and it's so important to get some of these high prior abilities off, and then you're trying to like fit a stomp in there. That sounds like a nightmare. It might still be played in Baloran, but I don't know. It depends what your goal is. I suppose it depends what your like raid leader. What is your purpose on that boss? Because I think Windwalker can probably play that fight now, playing it like normally, like egg damage not as high, but putting a lot more into the rest of the fight. Or they could probably still put you in as just like, you are the egg bitch. Crap, scramble this thing. But you won't scramble it as hard as you would have. Because the burst window is just weaker now. So I'm not quite sure when damage should actually catch up in relation. But pretty big Baloran nerf. For what the goal of Windwalker was for that fight at the time. Oh, thank you for the 15 creep and death. That's kind of you. Yeah, appreciate that. Certain I missed it, but what do you think of Zenith Stomps now? I find it a bit hard on when to send them and not count it to our mastery. So, with Zenith Stomp, there's two ways of looking at it. Like, I think it's better to play it as... Right now it doesn't work with our mastery, but 100% it will at some point. So it's probably not worth getting into the habit of spamming them one after another, because eventually you will actually be punished for that. The only time I would spam them one after another right now and abuse the fact that they're broken with mastery is maybe on like a raid boss or something where ads spawn but they get deleted within like 5-6 seconds, right? Like the orbs on the dragon boss, right? Those things get absolutely nuked. You can technically, I don't want to say abuse because that sounds like bad, but you can technically just spam Zenith Stomp, like press Zenith Stomp Stomp, and then like Fist of Fury, and you're probably just going to be rank 1 passer on those orbs. Right now, but generally speaking, the best way to look at Zenith Stomp, if you want to play it like ethically, is to replace it with Blackout Kick during Zenith. So you ideally don't want to press it when Fist of Fury, Rising Sun Kick, and Will and Dragon Punch are on cooldown, or off cooldown, because they're better to press. But you want to always guarantee you get Zenith Stomps during this period. So the best thing to do is replace it with Blackout Kick, because right now we're dropping the Blackout Kick talent for Obsidian Spiral, and you're also dropping Energy Burst, right? So basically, Blackout Kick is actually really bad to press now in during Zenith. Like, it doesn't give you any chi, and like it doesn't get the free procs. Well, like it doesn't get the it doesn't give you the free key. Oh well, okay, no, messed up. It doesn't give you like the double free chi from these two talents that we took previously. So pressing Blackout Kick is just absolute filler during Zenith now. Whereas it's better to replace it with like the Zenith Stomp. That's when you'll ideally use it. What I think, like I'll go to a target dummy and kind of show you. Like usually what I try to do when I go into a Zenith, where are these target dummies? I always forget. Is I'll try to press Zenith, and on the exact same tick I press Zenith, I Fist of Fury, so that the Zenith Stomp, and the Fist of Fury all go off at the exact same time, basically. 2 buttons, but Zenith itself isn't on the GCD. So you can essentially Fist of Fury a tick after you press Zenith, and that initial stomp will go out. And then what I'll also try show is that then I'll Rising Sun Kick, Whirl, and Dragon Punch, see what my situation's at, and then use stomps like in between that. So Tiger Palm, Puzzle Box, Zenith into Fist of Fury, Rising Sun Kick, Whirl and Dragon Punch, now I stomp, now I Spinning Crane Kick, now I stomp again. And then now we're back into our main cooldowns, right? And then we managed to get like 3 Fist of Furies off there, both our Zenith Stomps, Spinning Crane Kick for the proc and the Blackout Kick. And you can see that we did about like, what, it was like 400,000 damage on 5 targets or so. So that's kind of the way I'm trying to play it in Mythic Plus at the moment. Obviously it doesn't always go like that. Sometimes you might get lucky procs and get Fist of Fury off of cooldown faster and you have to improvise. But that was like a good example of if you don't get your lucky procs, right? You didn't get like your Fist of Fury reset as fast as you might have thought it was.
Does that kind of make sense? It's basically like you're trying to use it as a filler. In Blackout Kick's spot. Because I pressed it first, then I pressed the spinning crane kick. That had Dance of the Chi-Ji. Then I pressed it again. Then I went into my Blackout Kick that had the proc on it. Because that's me basically playing it as if it does have mastery, right? Because I could have went stomp stomp, like, and that would work right now. But it was better to instead, you know, break them up, and under the pretense they will have mastery as well. But aren't you overcapping chi? You are 100% overcapping chi. But right now, during Zenith, the best thing to really do is not even really think about chi or energy. Because during Zenith right now, you are 100% not pressing Tiger Palm because you have so much chi generation through the stomp. Because you have so much chi generation just through things like Glory of the Dawn, right? Through Rising Sun kicks, the fact that everything costs half and you're generating so much. Just overcap chi. Don't worry about overcapping chi too much. It will just happen during Zenith. Like, it sounds bad to say, but you don't necessarily have to be chi efficient during Zenith. Like, chi is not your big concern because you're going to come out of your Zenith almost every single time with pretty much full energy anyway. And pretty much full chi anyway, right? So then you're basically just back to square one. So it's not, you don't necessarily have to be chi efficient during Zenith. It's more damage button efficient, if that makes sense. Like, it's more important to get the buttons out that do the damage than to do it efficiently with chi, because there's just too much generation right now during that cooldown. Like, you almost always get the chi back from Rising Sun kick. Fist of Fury is always costing you 2. Whirling Dragon Punch doesn't cost you anything. You're getting 3 spinning crane kicks, and every time you press the Zenith Stomp, you get 2 chi. Like, there's just no way to really be efficient here.
Zal Zero is now following.
You don't Tiger Palm. Like, you basically, you can get away without Tiger Palming. You can get away without Blackout Kicking if you don't get a proc easily. So chi efficiency is just something you just kind of have to disregard during Zenith. It's okay to be chi inefficient. What are the talent changes?
Sinister
For Mythic
Stab
Plus,
_TV
the main
is now
talent
following.
changes are dropping things like Obsidian Spiral and Energy Burst. The main reasons for dropping these two is, as I've said, Blackout Kick. You're basically not really Blackout Kicking anymore during Zenith. Like, you will sometimes if you get a proc, but generally our Zenith windows, if you're taking Spiritual Focus, are so short now. They're only 15 seconds, which doesn't sound that short, but that goes by really quickly. And because Zenith Stomp basically is taking the place of Blackout Kick to a fair degree, having these two talents isn't worth it, and it's more value to get damage into your Stomp. So to do that, you take Universal Energy, which is a good talent to have because it basically increases your magic damage by 8%, and Zenith Stomp does nature damage, so pretty big change there. And then putting it into Brawler's Intensity as well. This is predominantly just for like the cooldown reduction of Rising Sun Kick, and it's not for the damage to Blackout Kick, really. As well as that, you want Revolving Whirl instead of Echo Technique and AoE. In single target, you could probably still go Echo Technique, but because they changed how Zuin's Battle Gear works with Spinning Crane Kick, now reducing the cooldown of Fist of Fury as well, just having more access to free Spinning Crane Kicks is worthwhile. Because you don't lose anything, right? You still get the free Blackout Kick through taking Sequence Strikes. It's just the additional step of getting a free Spinning Crane Kick, which is beneficial to Zuin's Battle Gear. And then Crashing Fist had a slight rework, where it just gives you flat Fist of Fury damage now, instead of increasing the channel time. So those are like the main talent changes. Single target wise, you can see in single target I have a setup where you're still going Echo Technique, and then you still want to go into like the Jade Fire Stomp, singularly focused Jade. This will be mostly for bosses like, well, I think there's only one boss you actually go Jade Fire Stomp on, and that's like Veracius, isn't it? Every other boss you kind of play like pseudo AoE, but like if you want to go pure single target, it's something like this, which takes advantage of obviously you need to get to Jade Fire Stomp, so you take Inner Peace right to get there, and then you drop things like Shadowboxing, Treads, and Communion with Wind. But generally, like some sort of like AoE version
will be played for majority of bosses. Whether you take Rolling Will for every boss, may be unlikely. Yeah, Voracious and Fallen King mostly for single target builds, but you can easily get away with like a pseudo AoE one if you're doing Mythic Fallen King, because like it summons like all of these orbs, and each time they die, he summons more. By the end of the fight, you're up to like 20 orbs, and suddenly, suddenly you get some disgusting situations where it's actually more value to just go big AoE damage and pad on the orbs. But if you're ethical, you can just go full single target on Salad Bar. Yeah. I'm not ethical. You want a Zenith try stack to 20, stomp, rinse, repeat? Essentially, but it's harder to stack to 20 than maybe first anticipated, especially in Mythic Plus. So, although 20 is the ideal time to send out Zenith, if you are going to double stack your Zenith, right, like get to 2 charges, it's better just to send it out, right? Because otherwise then you've got downtime on Zenith, and it's better to be in Zenith than out of Zenith. Or at least always have one charging. I love NA servers, down 8 hours yesterday, down again this morning. I heard they shut housing down as well. Is housing back up? That's another thing that they didn't. I don't know if that's still a thing. People actually go to their houses? Still disabled. This patch is so bad. What did they break? Oh, another thing I heard is that people were able to oh, this was a funny one. People were able to play prop hunt, turn into a prop object, then go inside of the raid, and then they could cast whilst moving. That's a good one. They could cast whilst moving because they were a prop inside of the raid instance. Oh my god. How important is it to use a two-hander weapon as Windwalker? At lower levels, it's not as important, but it scales better with the higher item level you have. This usually happens all the time, right? As you get further into an expansion, generally two-handers always just scale better. Don't ask me how they scale better, because I just don't understand it. I just know that they scale better, and they do more damage. But that's happened a bit earlier, this expansion, so there's not even like a fixed item level for it, but essentially the max item level build has a two-hander. So at some point it is just better to go two-hander. The main reason that there was a big, like, the main idea why it was thought initially that two one-handers were going to be better is because we had a bug. And we had another bug, and it was with dual threat. And basically, dual threat was not working with two-handers. So before the season even like started, it was basically like all the top builds and stuff were simmed with two one-handers because it was bugged. But then they fixed this, and then two-handers then were able to show that they actually scaled better with a working talent. So eventually you will want a two-hander. Like, you're not, like, we're talking very minimal damage here. I'm pretty sure it's in like the 1% regions, the difference between the two. So it's not like if you're running two one-handers, you trolling. Yeah, you're not going to do tank DPS. But eventually it is better to get a two-hander. And it's why there's a good chance you likely have seen like some top passing people and stuff like that, like on logs or whatever, or race to world first specs. They crafted two-handers. It's why I crafted a two-hander, even though two-hander crafting wasn't recommended. It's because it was more important to get a high item level two-hander
for the hard, like the later bosses early as possible. That's why, like, in that video, I preface it with, if you're, like, you know, your raid leader or whatever tells you you need to do something differently, do it differently, because although it was more optimal for me to go for a ring, get a two-handed drop, and craft something else, because obviously we needed Windwalker on Baloran, and it needs to be as powerful as it was, the best way to get as powerful as possible was through crafting a two-handed weapon, so I had to commit to that. Even though, like, that's not, like, that was not recommended at all, and barely not recommended. Because it is not, in theory, it's not our best craft. I have no idea where this dungeon goes. Oh, it's Windrunner Spire.
Alsik is now following.
So am I using a two-handed crafted or a drop? I'm using two-handed crafted right now, but in my vault there is a mythic track weapon waiting for me, so I will probably switch to that. I'm very not up to date on this character. I think I can still craft another thing. I'm like backdated on sparks. See, I've got 2 sparks here. I've got, like, I spent none of my mythic currency last week because I didn't play this character for a week, so I'm very backdated on it. I need to basically do some sims, run some numbers, but likely the next time you see this character, it will have a mythic two-hander from the vault and have another crafted piece. I couldn't tell you what that is though. Oh, am I out of oil? We don't need oil. What server region do I play on? I play on Draenor, I think. Yes. Yes, Draenor. EU Draenor. I used to be Twisting Nether.
4, 3,
And then before that, I used to be Ravencrest. And then before that, Shadow Song. God damn. I've been around the servers.
5, 4,
Oh, Shadow Song, take me back.
1.
My sisters were the last to visit these halls, but they threw their home and their bond away. If we can calm the spirits here, maybe they'll return. The Ranger General was sharp and steadfast.
I'm gonna pop defenses here, because last time I just got one shot. Couldn't tell you why. That's a shame. They were inside of their bubble when I had to use my second Zenith Stomp, so I lost a lot of damage there. Also, I almost got one shot again through 2 defensives. I had to health bot. I'm not quite sure what does all that damage there. It felt like a dot.
She spent many days tending to the gardens here, but the wilderness has overtaken it now.
But also, you can see like my Tiger Eye Brew stacks. They're nowhere near 20. But I'm about to overcap, right? I have to send. Oh, God. Oh, please no. Bro, these territorial dragoons? I don't even know what they're called. Oh, please God, no. What am I dying to? I couldn't even tell you. I popped a Fort Brew. I don't even think I should have. There was nothing casting there. Dragonhawks? Dragonhawks looked at me weird? Okay, cool. Good to know. We're going downstairs? We are not. Okay. Oh, we are. Okay, cool. I'm glad I sent there. Okay, now we're gonna send out, like, I think I'm sending out a 0-stack Zenith here. I actually am. I feel so squishy.
I like this healer, though. This healer is doing God's work.
Soothing sounds of my heart brought Verisa joy beyond measure. I'll need that relic.
Marla KGG is now following.
Appreciate all the follows, by the way, my dudes. Sorry, I was a little bit locked in there. There's something about this this dungeon, the start of this dungeon, that seems to do so much damage to me. It should be fine now. The rest of this dungeon was pretty chill previously.
Well now, that Dragonhawk seems to
In 15s, we have to play perfect or just die to anything. Yeah. I'm not looking forward to it. That's the nerf version of Disc? What'd they do to Disc? What did they actually change with the healers? I know they buffed Paladin. Are we so back? Is Holy back? Is their Discord happy? So I heard that they were... Well, I know they were untakeable. Pretty much everything just here. We back. Ow. Oh my god, I didn't see it. It was red on red. I just got actual glaive, lurid glaive PTSD. There was nothing worse than doing, like, P1 Lure, and, like, you're so locked in on the ads, like, gripping the ads and stuff, and you just hear, like, your raid leader shout out, glaive through boss, and there's just no honest way you can react, and then this same color glaive just comes straight and just one-shots you. Oh my god.
general, but she gave everything to the task, including her life.
I feel like Windwalker on that fight would be absolutely despair. It'll do good damage. Like, Windwalker on Lure is actually, like, I genuinely think it's going to do, like, really good damage. Because it's going to have, like, cooldowns for every ad set. Its single target isn't actually that bad. I think it'll actually be relatively competitive. The issue, obviously, being survivability. Can it survive? Can it survive? It feels weird not playing Conduit's Burst on bosses that have damage amps. Yeah, I can see that. I think the strangest thing to me is this, on Saladar, it feels like a lot of specs just don't even, like, care for his damage amp. Like, it feels like a lot of the time, Like, unless your cooldowns naturally line up for his damage jump, you just don't care. Like, if it doesn't line up, you just send them, like, whenever. And I think that's, like, the only... Besides, obviously, Baloran, but that's not even a damage amp. That's just, like, an egg that you have to burn. I think that's the only damage amp they had this tier. Whereas in Maniforge, there were damage amps left, right, and center. I swear to God, every boss had some sort of damage amp. I mean, there's something very satisfying about how short Fist of Fury's cooldown is when you spinning Crane Gig.
I'll need it.
D3M4
You don't even.
underscore
I mean,
is now following.
you pretty much spinning Crane Kick exactly the same amount as you would have before, like slightly more, like a twinge more. But like, it's just so satisfying. So there'd always be those like times when you're like, oh my god, I'm so close to a Fist of Fury, I want it right meow. But now you can have it right meow, as long as there are, you know, enough ads. Shaman's damage is ludicrous, he says as he catches up to the Shaman's damage. Never mind. Never mind. I'm not complaining anymore. Windwalker's damage is ludicrous. It's funny because last year I feel like one of our selling points was our big selling points was our single target damage. I actually don't think our single target damage is that good this tier. We're actually probably better at AoE. Like our single target damage isn't bad. But we're definitely better the more targets that get involved. Which is it's a little bit disappointing because I was hoping like the removal of crackling jade lightning, like all that jazz, like the fact that you could like cleave targets and the fact that they nerf slicing winds into the ground. I thought maybe they were moving towards more boss damage. Like our boss damage isn't bad. It's not like it could be better. I think I would play more ethically if our single target was better. I think the biggest thing that sucked this tier was just how melee unfriendly it was for the most part. Or maybe not even melee. It was just very unfriendly towards specs that couldn't hit 2 targets from like range. Like there were just so many situations of like bosses where you just couldn't do that. Like even like this, like the ones that you wouldn't think, like Saladar. Well, he always had like 2 orbs up the entire fight. Well, what excels at that? Specs that can actually hit all the orbs and, you know, the boss at the same time. What else? The dragons wasn't so bad on Mythic. If they were both flying, it would have been so much worse. Illyria's another one. Illyria's got like ads that are spread out all the time, as well as that like P2, P3. You got the 2 mobs. Basically, it was a very unfriendly melee tier. Like, I don't know if you saw the comps that were taken on, like, Paladins as the best example, right? I'm pretty sure you took, like, 2 melee DPS players for that fight. Maximum? You took Mistweavers, which are melee, but, like, in terms of, like, actual melee DPS, I think it was Warrior. And I don't remember the other spec that you took. Yeah, I think it was Warrior. You didn't take Rogue. You literally dropped Rogue, right? Like, I just think about that. you dropped a raid buff because it's just not good enough. Yeah, stacked all the Hunters. Hunter, I don't think Hunter has had as good a tier as this. A lot of it like their damage was good. Like, don't get me wrong, the damage was good, but a lot of it does also come down to Hunter's mark because, as I said, like there were so many fights where you had multiple targets. Being able to like have Hunter's mark on any of those was just absolutely busted. Like Paladin's another great example of this. You literally took like 3 Hunters, maybe even 4 sometimes. Because you wanted your evokers to then, like, you know, buff them. Dragons, you had to take at least 2 Hunters because you had to have a Hunter's mark on both of the dragons. Illyria, the same thing, right? Multiple targets. Well, we've got to mark them both. It's a very, very melee unfriendly tier. Like, I feel like the only true melee that got away with it a lot of the time were Death Knights, because Unholy was pretty good, so you were able to get away with, like, a Death Knight. And Rogue got away with it for, like, a majority of the bosses, but any boss that they could drop a Rogue did drop a Rogue. Was thinking of going with the 6 coins to have another chance for a bonus roll in Mythic Plus. That's not a bad idea. I think a lot of people are doing that. But it's definitely worth mentioning if you aren't aware that right now the bonus rolls are bugged. They might have changed it in like the past 3 hours that I've streamed. But I wouldn't be surprised if it's still bugged. Where basically you can get duplicate items. If you use your bonus roll in like a dungeon and then use it again, you can get duplicate items. So do not send your bonus rolls right now until that's fixed. Because that's pretty disappointing, right? Especially if you send them in raid. Oh my god, you send them in raid and it costs you 2. Oh, I'd be tweaking. And what are the odds on Blizzard giving you back a reroll? Yeah.
Lucky TV is now following. DNAII94 is now following.
How does the new rotation work with us actually manually pressing Xenostomp? I think the best way that I've been trying to explain it is by basically the idea is that Zenith Stomp is your blackout kick replacer. Like in the simplest terms, that's how I would define it, because you still want to be higher prioritizing like your Fist of Furies and your Rising Sun kicks and your Whirling Dragon Punch. Like they're still more important to press. But we've dropped a lot of the talents for Blackout Kick now. So Blackout Kick is basically, it's not useless during Zenith, but it's pretty useless during Zenith. So the best way to look at it is Zenith Stomp is you press that when you press Blackout Kick previously. Would be my best way of best like rule of thumb. But you always want to get both of your Zenith Stomps cast during Zenith, 100%. Because they do a lot of damage, especially in M+, right? Like, look at this. The Zenith Stomp, like in M+, used to be like down here. Like, the best way to look at it is they've taken a whole bunch of Fist of Fury's damage and just given it to this ability. So making sure that you actually get these sent out is very important. But it's just as important to not, like, absolutely cane spam them, right? Like, you can technically cane, you can just spam them if you want to, and won't be punished for it as of right now. But if you get into that habit, and then they fix the mastery, then you'll be severely punished for it. The only time I think that there might actually be an argument for breaking mastery to spam out Zenith Stomps might be on certain bosses where you have like ads that spawn for such a short period amount of time that hitting them with all 3 charges of Zenith Stomp before they like die might actually be more valuable than keeping up hit combos. But I don't know if that's true right now. I haven't done the bosses. I wouldn't be surprised though. I wouldn't be surprised if like some top loggers like straight up just spam Zenith Stomp the moment like the dragons spawn their ads, because those ads die so quickly. Maybe like with one Fist of Fury in between. That's the only situation where I could see like spamming them actually being worth it, because you do, generally speaking, you get enough time to send them out. You have 15 seconds during Zenith. Like your first 3 or 4 seconds are probably spent on Fist of Fury, Rising Sun Kick, Will, and Dragon Punch. Then at that point, then you're generally sending out a Stomp. Then you might have resets and stuff like that. But then it's like trying to fit like one extra Stomp into like 10 seconds or so. It's definitely doable. It's not as... Maybe I think the hardest time might be during a Lust. Because we're so hasted, you might get a lot of Fist of Fury resets. I think that would be the hardest time to fit it in. But outside of that, I haven't really struggled at all. How's the new change? More DPS so far, or not really? It's hard to tell, because I haven't really done many Mythic Plus keys, like, comparatively. The damage feels fine. I think the damage is a lot more bursty. Like, it's very... Like, we do a lot of damage in a super short period of time, with all the stomps, right? Like, so if you think about the Zenith Stomp damage, right? You're only casting it during Zenith. So, like, whereas Fist of Fury is throughout an entire dungeon or whatever, right? So Zenith Stomp's only during your burst windows, and then your Fist of Furying as well. So we have a like really high AoE burst in those periods of time. Maybe, but that means we'll be weaker outside of that, right? Because if you think like outside of Zenith, well, you lost all of this damage. You're not doing any of this damage outside of Zenith, so it's just, you know, Fist of Fury, Rising, Flurry Strikes, and if you know, yeah, if Fist of Fury is on cooldown, well, where's your damage actually coming from outside of Zenith? Rising Sun Kick? Okay, buddy. Okay. So, we're very heavily reliant on Zenith and the damage we do inside of Zenith, but we're playing 1 minute Zenith at this moment, so it's not too bad. I don't feel weaker, if that makes sense. I feel maybe just as powerful, but the damage profile feels to shifted a little bit. Like, not much, but it feels like they've kind of funneled us a little bit more into high burst AoE, but that balances out with sustained damage a little bit, kind of. Can I show my build? Yeah, I can do. This is what I'm running for M+. Wish they would give us some defense love, feel so squishy. Yeah, I don't really know how they do it. I genuinely think if we still had diffuse magic, I don't think anyone would actually complain about defensives or like feel like we're squishy. Because like even if we have diffuse magic, Windwalker's naturally actually still a squishy spec outside of defensives. But the fact that we had diffuse magic to negate damage, like on top of our 2 other defensives, actually just kind of made it okay. But the moment, like all they did was remove 1 defensive from our kit, right? That's it. Like I'm pretty sure. I mean, I made a guide and I should probably know this. But like in general, all they really did was remove like one defensive, right? And then suddenly every Windwalker realized, guys, we're kind of squishy now. Like you absolutely feel how squishy you are. I don't really know how they do it. Because they've tried to do small things, like they've increased like our avoidance through martial instincts, and they increased our reduced damage a little bit. Did you notice it? I promise you haven't. I promise you have not noticed that. Because they did this at the start of the tier. They did this at the start of season 1. They buffed both of these a little bit. But yeah, did not feel that at all. I don't think they'll give us diffuse magic back. So what do they do? Like in terms of our actual healing, like where does it come from? Like Yulon's Grace is just so bad. This is the magic shield that we got, like passively instead of diffuse magic.
413 is now
It does less
following.
than expel harm, by the way. Less than touch of karma. But this Yulon's Grace is always up. Like it's always up. Almost less than my healing pot. Like, okay. That's kind of cool. I don't know. Maybe more stamina would probably be a good start. Because if we have more... I don't know. It's hard. The simple solution is just if we had diffuse magic back, but I don't think that they won't do that. They're not going to give us a new... They're not going to give us a defensive. Can I show the single target build? Yeah, I can do. This is like pure single target though. So like, most raid bosses are going to pretty much be some sort of variation of the AoE one. This is the sort of build you probably just run for like
Pelagius02 is now
Veracius, or
following.
maybe you just run for like Baloran. Or you maybe just run for like Lura or something like that. Although, because I know Lura has ads, but it depends what you're doing on. Probably not for Lura though, if it's like heroic, because you probably are just going to pad on the ads, because why not? But if any Windwalker actually plays Lura on Mythic, I didn't get to, but you probably run something like this, because that boss is just single target. Like, realistically, it's single target. Salad Bar is also pretty much single target, but you can actually just pad on the ads if you want to, so... like, DK is us with Fort Brew, perma-up with nothing pressed. I didn't know this, right? Like, I didn't realize until I started playing DK. AMS, 45-second cooldown. Hello? Well, what do you mean? So, it's already... okay. It's already like, pretty much a complete magic immunity on half the cooldown that Diffuse Magic was on. Okay, that's kind of cool, right? On top of that, it also had a talent you could take where you can also reflect magic effects back with it, which means that DK actually still has Diffuse Magic, but better in every way and form. And I was just like, what do you mean? They can also put down a shell that reduces magic damage of everybody that stands inside of it. That's kind of nice as well. They also have Death Strike. Oh my god, I should go on my DK. What am I doing here? Death Strike's just real nice as well. Because Death Strikes is like reactive. If you take a hit, your Death Strike heals you for more. I have to get lucky and get a crit on my Vivify. Like, I go get a lucky crit. Like, please. Like, it's not like end of the world. But, like, some things you really notice the damage on. Like, for the majority of that Windrunner Spire, I didn't notice this at all. But at the start of that dungeon, I notice it so badly. On some bosses, you don't even notice this at all. On some, it's like absolute, like, what are we doing? Help. I need life support. I need a pocket healer. But I don't really know how they tackle it. You know, like, what can you really do? Give us 20% avoidance? Because, like, a lot of specs have, like, stamina talent. We don't have that. Like, we have reduced I mean, I suppose you could increase calming presence, but then at what point is it busted? I don't know. It's not my job. Blizzard's job. I just play it. Can't we do a petition to get it back? I mean, I can do a petition, but I mean, put it this way, right? There were tons of people that told Blizzard that Zenith Stomp wasn't part of our mastery and needed to be fixed during the PTR, and they didn't fix it before this launched. So, I mean, are they going to listen to a petition that says give us back diffuse magic? Absolutely not. I think that's the sort of thing they might change like next expansion, right? When they're finally like, okay, let's give them back some of their abilities. All right, they've earned it. Until then, I feel like it's going to maybe be a bit of an issue. But yeah, I think that's going to be it from me today, my dudes. A little bit of a shorter one today. I might stream on Sunday. Let me have a look at my raid schedule this week. I might stream on Sunday or Monday. It depends which day my monk's in for, because we're doing multiple runs. So it depends. Probably not Sunday, because I think Sunday's the main run, and I don't think I can convince anyone to put my Windwalker in the main run. But I probably get him in on the Void Spire. So yeah, I'll probably stream on Monday. Maybe tomorrow? What day is it tomorrow? Thursday. Maybe tomorrow or Friday. More dungeons. Yeah, I'm enjoying Mr. Plus again. It's good to be back, although I literally didn't achieve much. We got some 12s. That's kind of nice. We're getting there. And I'll probably upgrade my character a bit more, because I've just got so many mythic crests. This character is so... He needs some love. He's not seen a crest in weeks. Yeah, I hopefully helped explain or visualize like how you use the nest stomp and stuff. Because I think that's probably, from what I've read, that's probably what's been the most confusing from players going into 12.0.5 is like not quite knowing when to press stomp and how it fits into everything. So hopefully like seeing some of the keys or seeing what I did in the target dummy earlier or explaining it a few times, it makes a bit more sense how like Xenostomp actually fits into things. Because that's the actual main rotational change, right? Like in terms of like you change some talents and stuff, you can do that without even knowing how to do it. I just click a talent, it's different, cool. So hopefully that makes a bit more sense with how Zenith works and all that jazz. And I don't think it plays that bad, but I definitely don't think it's like a buff or anything. It's not a nerf. It's just a playstyle change, and a little bit of our damage has changed in its profile. I feel like we're definitely more higher AoE burst, but lower natty damage, if that makes sense. But it kind of balances out to be like almost exactly where it was before. Yeah, it's been fun. I'll play some more Windwalker. And yeah, I'm still undecided if I'm going to push with DK or not. I think what's going to happen is I'll probably end up getting to a certain key point with Windwalker, running it down mid, and then suddenly I'm a DK main. But we'll see. It's early days still. Which race best for Windwalker and M+? Usually for M+, it's like Dwarf.
Dwarf, I think, or Night Elf. I think Dwarf's good. The main reason I probably recommend Dwarf is because we lost Diffuse Magic, and Dwarfs have their Racial, which removes, like, tons of effects. And Mythic Plus is a place full of effects, like bleeds, poisons, curses, whatever, loads of stuff, and Dwarfs can just remove that. On a, I want to say 1 minute 30 cooldown, it could be 2. Either way, it's very strong. Especially for a spec that struggles with survival a little bit. Having an extra button you can press to remove something, it's probably your best bet. And if you want pure damage, though, it's Troll. Yeah, that's it from me. Oh. Yeah, thanks for tuning in. If you have any questions and stuff, you can always ask in the Discord. I'll try to answer as soon as possible. But I gotta pop off now. Maybe tomorrow, maybe Friday. Not sure. I'm really good at scheduling. Yep. I tried. Yeah, well, catch you later, my dudes.